Okay, that is that. Copy. It should be early enough for Jason. Oh, excuse me, 1 second. How does he too? God damn it. I'm on. Only did 2 lives today. Do you have my lighter? It's probably in my coat pocket. It's probably in my coat pocket then. Boy, I'm set up. Alright, give me a sec. I'm getting my lighter out of my coat pocket. What a day, what a day, what a day. Okay, where the fudge is my lighter? I don't have it. Hang on, guys. I'm looking for my lighter. Oh, my lighter ain't there. It's on my coat pocket. Right there. The fudge. Oh, there it is. Oh. There you go. Oh, shoot. Alright, popping you up. And turning you that way.
Has anybody even came in yet? Hello?
Besides you.
Hello? Anybody home?
Oh, we got 2 more people. Hello, hello, hello.
Where's that paper?
Morning.
Where'd that paper go?
Where's what go? I have the link up if anybody wants to join the panel. They're more than welcome to. Tonight's no politic talk. It's more of just having fun and updates on blind justice and extra good citizen. Because every time we get into politic talk, it's like we get in a heated argument. So let's not have a heated argument tonight. I'm probably gonna have to. Okay, I know what I gotta do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know.
Hey, news now, Canuck. What's up, bud? Good to see you, bro.
Tell him I'm live.
Do what?
Oh, I thought Slash called you. Tell him I'm live.
There's Al Canucks right there.
Oh, I thought Slash called you. Your YouTube's on, dude.
Yeah, I know. It's off now.
News Now Canucks. Hello, Nugs.
And there's the sexy god of the north, that Greek god of the north. He makes the polo look ugly. Not many people are here tonight, but there's like 3 or 4 live streams going right now.
Yeah.
I think Gary Snowflake's got them all.
Probably Gary, and then probably Jeff. I know Jeff, I think, is live yet.
Yeah, yeah, I know Jeff is NC Tyrant Hunter is going. Yeah, Jeff. So.
Oh, you haven't seen him with the haircut yet.
Nope. And my beard is even trimmed up. You see that? Ain't near as scraggly looking as it once was. And I need to trim it again. Got to look halfway presentable for my new job. But I like it. It ain't too bad. I'm starting to get used to some of it.
Yeah. And hugs to the lurkers.
Do you got lurkers?
Yes, I do.
Oh my goodness. Hey, lurkers. How are you guys?
Jason, you must be lurking. Jackpot.
I love lurkers. I probably ain't gonna be on long. I've been making phone calls ever since I seen Blind Justice get down. And because of that, I was going to go to sleep when I first got home at 4 o'clock. And 4.5 hours later, I'm finally done with phone calls. Then I'm going to have to make more phone calls tomorrow. Woohoo!
Yeah, not the only one's going to be making phone calls tomorrow.
By the way, I got a new number for all out there that if you're all interested, and it is the direct number, or supposed to be the direct number. I am going to say it is. I haven't made the phone call yet, and I won't until 8 o'clock in the morning. But this is supposed to be the direct phone number to Captain Daltrey. And that is the captain of the, I'm trying to be nice, of the officer. I use that term loosely. He is the captain of the officer that took down Blind Justice. And the number is 336 641 6932. That is the number to the security at the courthouse. They're in that county, and that is where the captain, who is also over the officer that took down Blind Justice, is located as well. So you all know.
Yeah.
Hey,
News Now across America.
Hey, News Now.
How's everybody doing?
Yeah, we're doing good.
Other than getting pissed off seeing a cop take down Blind Justice the way he did, I'm doing pretty good.
I hadn't seen that one yet.
Yeah, Blind Justice got taken down, and so did over in Leon Valley, Extra Good Citizen got arrested too.
Shit. Well, It's a daggum mess, man. I'm telling you, these damn cops ain't never gonna learn.
I tell
They're
you what,
getting worse.
they're getting worse, bud. They're getting worse by the day.
Oh yeah.
It looked like to me they set up on a citizen to be taken down in Leon Valley.
Wait, did that last
Extra
time?
good citizen, that is.
Yeah, extra good citizen, excuse me. They took him down in Leon Valley under the guise again of having media and him coming in with the media. And they didn't arrest the media, but they arrested him. So they're still using that trick, people that out there in Leon Valley to try to get the auditors. Y'all need to quit trusting Joe Vagisil. Okay, I mean Joe Savaggio. Excuse me. Don't trust him. He's going to take your ass down. He wants to take down all the auditors. So,
Now it's everybody's gonna have to be careful
yeah.
because these guys ain't playing games.
No,
No.
they're not no more.
You know.
And you know, blind justice. If you look at the ADA, he's in ADA compliance for his disability. Okay, and that cop took him down because he was when he asked for the ADA officer to show up and talk to them about it. They would not even go get the ADA officer, which was just across the way from them. Okay. He said he didn't have to. The man's an ADA compliant. He has the right to have the recording devices because sometimes he has memory loss due to the injuries he sustained being in the military.
Right.
And that's also how he went mostly blind. Okay. He is legally blind. He is not actually truly to where he cannot see, but he is legally blind. He can see shadows.
Yeah.
That's about it. Okay.
Hey, Liberty Bird, hugs.
Hey, Liberty Bird, man.
Was good, yo. How's everybody?
Not a goddamn thing for me right now. I'm so mad at cops at them pigs doing what they did to blind justice right now. It ain't even funny. And then the way their call center treated me, that wasn't pretty either.
Yeah. I gotta say, props to everybody that called in on that, man. Yeah, they were flooded with calls. The lady was like, "Yeah, turn off the 100 callers calling."
Yeah, right. Well, this one guy I called and he demanded me to give him my home address. I said, I don't have to give you my home address.
No shit.
He says, yes, you do. I said, I do not have to give you any personal information at all. He says, yes, the fuck you do. And I lost it, buddy. You can ask Jen. I lost it.
You should.
I went off on him like a Roman candle. You gonna cuss me, and you don't have no right to cuss me? You're gonna find out what a cussing's about.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel for blind justice in that aspect, man, from what happened today. But I think what I've been kind of looking at is, we need to not allow that to happen. Like if a cop got hands with me, whether he's a real officer or he's a fake ass officer like the one we've seen today, man, you lay hands on me and there's no reasonable suspicion of a crime, I'm gonna lay hands back on you and I'll fight it later.
Yeah, I agree.
They should have laws that allow us to do that without getting in trouble.
Basic self-defense law. I mean, I hate to say this too, but you're allowed to use lethal force if you're attacked by 3 or more individuals. How many times do we see nine plus cops attacking one guy?
Yeah,
but look at blind justice and look at extra good citizen. He got slammed up against the wall over at Leon Valley.
Well,
Yep. Well, Johnny 5-0 got manhandled.
Yep.
Eric Brandt was unlawfully detained again. Otto. I mean, you start getting into it. You guys see Invictus's post today?
no, I missed Invictus's post. I
Ronnie
normally keep
Hood.
up with Invictus. What Invictus say?
So he had a really interesting video up. I don't know, Jen, if you have the ability to pull it up, but I think it's definitely worth looking at.
Okay,
Pretty much
who's that?
Invictus.
Okay.
Invictus 69.
Yeah, I can pull up Invictus video.
Yeah, so he posted up a video today that really rings true with me, and this is something that we're seeing all across the nation right now, and that's the targeting of cop watchers and auditors.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
So they're actually putting out APBs, and claiming that there's warrants, when there is no warrants, and then having an approach with cautions. These guys make YouTube videos or out to make cops look bad, when the truth is we all know they make themselves look bad. We're just exposing it.
Mm-hmm.
I'd
Page
prefer
Page
to
Hugs.
prove that every damn cop is doing their job and doing a wonderful job. Personally, I mean, that's what I would rather do in every video I ever done.
Yeah, me
You
too.
know, if they screw up, we didn't do it. Yeah.
Amen to that, man. I'm gonna let you guys have some bad hair day.
Hey, I used to do that all the time. When I had long hair, people used to call me a troglodyte, and I'd make my hair go all nasty, funny looking, and everything. And it's funny they thought I had greasy hair from not taking a bath. And what I was doing is I was going to the bathroom and I get that that baby oil.
Yeah.
Put some on my hand to do that and mess up my hair real good. And they're like, "You ain't taking a bath in a week. That's why your hair's doing that." I love them trolls out there. If they only knew.
Yeah, DSS was busting my balls not too long ago.
Yeah. I love it. If they only knew,
Straight up.
Let me see if I can find it.
Don't get acquitted yet. Ronan, more than likely Trump has got acquitted because the Democrats have all but conceded that they didn't have shit to begin with.
It's a good day there now.
So,
open up my mic.
Bam.
hey, Otter Trump, what's up, buddy? Uh-oh.
Oh.
Went away again. He must have hit a bad spot.
Yeah, he'll be back.
Yeah.
My man.
So,
Yeah, I hear him. He beeped.
but that's as quick as I'm going to get in on the Trump thing, Ronan. So you know.
Yep, we're not talking politics tonight.
Yep.
That's a relief, actually.
Hey, hey,
Hey.
We hear you.
it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day in the neighborhood. Would you be mine?
Yes.
What's up, Liberty Birdman? How are you? I can't believe it. I'm backstage and you can still hear me. It's what I see on my screen. Maybe my phone is low.
You're front stage.
I think your phone's
That's
broke
what's up.
because you're up here you're up here with the panel on the panel with us.
That's kind of strange. But you can see what I'm seeing? For real?
Yep.
Yeah.
A car
Yes, we
just
can.
drove by. Now you're gone again.
Nope, now you just accidentally went up again.
What the fuck?
Hey, I was trying to peek you hear me. I'm gonna bring. There you
Yep.
go. Hey, I'm gonna bring up that video that
Yep.
Liberty wants me to show.
Yeah.
Quick.
Oh, fuck. Liberty? Fucking Liberty Bird.
Yeah.
I salute you.
Man, I salute
Yes,
you,
I
brother.
salute you. Thank you. I'm honored. By the way, your name just makes me bow. I bow down to the Liberty Bird. It's all about the bald eagle.
It is all about the bald eagle. I'm trying to find someone that does cartoons and that can help me put out a cartoon of a eagle shitting all over cop cars.
Yeah. Okay, here we go, guys.
Oh my god, a fucking eagle? Can you?
Yeah, check out this video.
One large, guys.
Hey, what's up, everybody out there? I just want to share with y'all a little information. And I do want to just make this announcement in case people didn't understand what's really going on. So every cop watcher, every auditor, they're targeting you. They're putting you on lists. And when they get you, they're going to get you. They're not playing with us, man. They don't take what we do lightly. They might laugh in your face and say, oh, you putting it on YouTube. Ha, 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 ha. You're a YouTuber. Ha, 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 ha. But trust me, they don't like it. And when they can get you, they're going to get you.
Yep.
So make sure you're in it for the right reasons when you start making these lists. Just want to show you this right quick. This is from the Springfield Police Department. Officer information only. This is March 4th. It's pretty much a rundown of my height, weight, eye color, hair. And it says my vehicle I'm in right now. It says Booker is currently posting videos on YouTube speaking of his SPD traffic stop with headings to include. Then it says some of my videos, cop caught falsifying report does not match video. Cop takes me to jail, then forced to bring me back. Cop caught breaking the law. Cop breaks the law. Booker goal during a traffic stop is to entice officers into engaging a verbal argument to later be used in social media. Booker asked, I have to say that because they say, well, why black folks can't pronounce ask. I don't know, be honest with you. Same reason we say car instead of car, So I don't know. That's slang, man. Get used to it. Anyway, Booker asked for reports and body cam footage through Freedom of Information, yet he also records his own video doing traffic stops. In one video, he states that he avoids police trying to keep them from getting behind him and being stopped. Booker claims to be targeted and arrested or extorted by police. See, video cop did not have a chance under YouTube, Quentin Booker. Now, I wanted to post y'all this and show y'all this, man. Just make y'all understand that you are making lists. And those lists are not nice lists. Now, I do got a video called Wow, This is a Traffic Stop. And in that video, when the cop goes to run my name, it says I have a warrant, okay? Or it says wanted person, yet I'm not wanted. I have no warrant. So what's going on with the computer? Is it crazy or am I on some list I don't know about? Am I flagged in some system that I don't know about? Well, I've been doing research on that ever since I found out. I will make some videos later on, man, describing what's going on with that. I didn't even want to put this out right now, but I just wanted to let you people know. I hope you in it for the right reasons, man. Y'all think it's fun and games, but you got families, man. And when we get locked up out here and beat over the head and round up, we ain't got nobody on our side. We ain't got no bond monies and lawyer fees, So you guys be careful, man. If the shit get deep, I hope you're ready for it, because I promise you, they cooking up a real good plan for us, man. And I hope you be prepared for it. Peace and blessings to everybody, man. Protect yourself. And I'm trying to tell you folks, man, it's not a game. So if you in it for a game, they will show you ain't ready for it. I fight for freedom. I fight for everybody, man. So whatever they got for me, I welcome it. You know why? Because these folks have to be held accountable, man. Somebody got to take the bullet. I'll gladly take it.
Make sure you guys go over to Invictus Media, hit the like on this thing, and make sure you go over to Booker T. Or Quantum Booker and hit the same thing for him.
Yes, indeed.
Booker.
So the reason I wanted you to see that video was because we're seeing it happen right now. We're seeing the targeting of auditors, all of them. I mean, myself included, yourselves included. Like we're seeing this happen right now as we're watching YouTube later. How many auditors, Cop Watch, have been arrested in the last month?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well,
right.
Well, Liberty Bird, I was saying that almost 6 months ago. It's going to get bad, and it's going to get bad quick, and it's starting to do it.
I've been saying that for months now. I'm telling everybody, start
right
teaming up and go out in 2 or 3s.
She started saying the 2 or 3s. I never said that either until here recently. But me and her both have been saying for months now, it's going to get bad. It's going to get bad quick, and it's proving it right now that it's gotten bad, and it's gotten bad quick.
Well, everybody's eyes should have been open when that security guard ricocheted that bullet off of ricocheted that bullet that hit Burry.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I really started pushing it.
Yeah, and the thing is if that security guard would have had decent aim, it wouldn't have been a ricochet because it was intentional, regardless if it came off of another object or not.
You're right. You're right.
The thing is, everybody needs to be, using their head. And, I know, a lot of the older auditors, took a backup camera person with them.
Yep.
Well, the thing is, they just going to go after them too. You need to take a backup camera person, but what you need it to where they are in a vehicle, set the camera on the dash. This way they're not seen. Let them get out. If you get arrested, you actually have footage. Use the glasses with the camera in them. I've got 2 pair of them myself. Have someone, have them. That way, they can be sitting back on a bench somewhere just watching the scenery. The point is, you can't cover your ass if you ain't got it on video. It didn't happen. That ain't going to stop it. You're still going to take the ride. You may beat the charge, but you're not going to beat that damn ride downtown.
Yep.
Yep.
Which was proven very well to me in Dixie County. I took the ride on a lie, and 5 months later, it was thrown out of court.
Right.
I still took that fucking ride.
How much damn money out of your pocket for attorneys and shit?
Yeah.
Actually, no money out of the pocket for attorney, but it was time and money lost due to missing jobs and things like that. And I actually lost 2 jobs because of the court time and things like that. So,
well, if you ask Otto, man, Rockwall is definitely under that very creed. Should be their mission statement. Yeah, you can't beat the ride, but you can beat the charge. So they don't care whether or not you're guilty, and that's the problem with taking that ride. You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't be taking a ride in the first place unless there's a reason to be taking a ride. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Well, every time they haul you in, it goes on your record. Was arrested for suspicion of. That's all you got to have. It gives them the reason for the next cop to haul your ass in.
That's one thing, but what Liberty Bird said was pretty important too.
Oh, I agree with Liberty Bird. I agree with it.
I mean, there's all kinds of excuses that they can use to pull everybody in, you guys.
Yeah,
definitely.
I mean, it's as good as a homeless suite, man. Like, it just breaks down to, if you're breaking the law to enforce your policies, you're fucking up.
They could come out and straight up make a false ass lying statement and take your ass in. That's what they did to me.
Well, look at Johnny. All he did was say "fuck off" yesterday, and boom.
Hell, I didn't even. That's what I'm getting at.
But you know what? The weird thing about it is that it wasn't disorderly. They charged him with trespass instead of disorderly. So that's kind of strange.
But that's what I'm getting at. I didn't even do that. They literally made up a false charge.
Yes, because you can't trespass someone that's in the process of walking away.
Well, they released him, and then they did that. You can tell from the video. Everybody see it. Yeah. I don't know. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree. But that's what I'm getting at, though. The cops can get you on a false lying.
Check this out, though. You know what? It's not a false charge because the charges might be valid. Check this out.
What I'm getting at is a cop can do that.
Hold on.
Yeah, so
they will do that.
Why would the charges be valid, Autotron?
Okay. I'm saying that the charges might be valid because the officer has his or her opinion, right? Now check this out. Does that mean that it's a valid arrest? Because if you just evidence one thing only, the fact that it's an arrest without a warrant, that is something under the common law that should be recognized, especially for Americans. You know what I mean? Like an arrest without a warrant,
Okay.
not good. You see what I mean?
Well, I mean, let's evaluate that comment. So you have someone robbing a bank per se, okay? And an officer sees that guy robbing a bank. It's that officer's duty ultimately to intervene and protect those that are in the situation that surrounds it.
Yeah,
right?
but in the situation with, what was the breach of peace in the situation with Johnny then? If you're saying there's a breach of peace, because that's ultimately what you're saying. Go ahead.
No. To me, I personally don't think that there was a breach of peace at all. I think personally that what they did was they threw a trespass charge on a man that was walking away from the situation and then was getting clarity as he did so. He was physically forced by hand. You know what I mean? That officer pushed him to whatever area he wanted him to, and then proceeded to slam him down by force.
Right.
So Johnny didn't resist that guy's forceful touch of forcing him out the building, forcing him onto a public sidewalk or anything. So yeah, I don't see it being a legitimate trespass. I don't think it's disorderly.
It's definitely not trespass. That's why I was thinking about the charge, and I'm like, what? That just does not look. That's not right at all. So I mean, I
don't think it was disorderly either. I mean, personally, I think that it needs to be accepted.
Honestly, I didn't see where anything would have applied to him breaking the law. Honestly.
Exactly.
Well, not just that, but I mean, he hasn't breached the peace, guys. Let me ask you this: Who in that building, by him doing that, was incited to the point of violence?
Nobody. Everybody let them alone.
Okay, well, so there was no real breach of peace. Is that what you guys are telling me?
Yes, I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. There was no breach of peace.
Okay, that's my fucking point, and I yield the fucking mic.
You're right. And I agree with you wholeheartedly, bro. I do. That's why I agree with you wholeheartedly. I didn't see where any way, shape, or form he broke the law in any situation there.
It's such a trip. You know what they did was they probably now are we talking? We're talking about not Johnny 5-0, right?
We were talking Johnny 5-0.
We can talk Johnny 5-0, but I mean, check this out. I can say, okay, so significantly, right, that Johnny 5-0 was definitely not breaching the peace when he said to the cops to fuck off, okay? Right. And the reason why is because it had come from a political mindset. His intention for being there in the first place was news reporting. It had everything to do with press rights. All kinds of stuff is involved in that. I mean, these people I don't know what the hell is wrong with the administrators. It's almost like they don't see what's going on around them or something.
I personally think that him saying fuck off wasn't enough, man. Just like we've seen with Blind Justice today, cops or fake cops that want to get handsy, dude, when they have no reasonable suspicion of a crime, need to get laid out by civilians.
I agree.
Or I'd say slaves.
Was there a felony there, Liberty Bird? Do you think?
Well, I mean, it really depends on how you look at it. The thing is that if there is no crime, it's unlawful. If a cop acts outside of the law and what is lawful, he should, his authority no longer applies. And you can tell him straight out once he starts breaking the law and getting handsy that, hey.
But my question is it a felony? It might be unlawful, but check this out. Is it
you're still taking the ride. You're still taking the ride. But I think that 12 jurors will most likely be in your favor when you're like, I was there for no crime. I told him, please don't touch me or I'm going to hurt you. And then it happened. Once you say that you don't fucking recognize their authority and then they need to call in a superior, if they intervene past that point, I don't think that we as people need to stand up. I mean, dude, if 3 or more officers are trying to attack me, should I use lethal force, if it's unlawful? And so that's the next question, where do you take it? Where do you take it? Where does it start and where does it end? We want peaceful resolutions.
Well,
just have a firm foundation within yourself, and you'll be fine.
the problem you're gonna have if you start trying to do what you're saying there, Liberty Bird, especially going to the point of lethal force, even though they're unlawful. Guess what? You're gonna be a dead man. You might as well hang it up. You're gonna be a dead man because every cop.
I mean, it could be. It depends on how you handle everything the aftermath. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing
They'll be
is,
happy to beat you and leave you in the cell somewhere.
Listen, it's been proven time and time again. As soon as you fucking use lethal force on a cop, no matter what it is, them cops are gonna shoot you, and you ain't gonna have no fucking trial.
It happens quite often.
Unless you shoot them first.
Well,
let's not get into too much of that. But
I'm getting at. You got to shoot the rest of the police department. And then, okay, well, now they're calling in their reinforcements from their buddies from the next county and the next county and the next county. You're a dead man, period.
Okay, so let's talk about it, though. So where does it start and where does it end? You know, you don't take it to that extreme, but this is the same point I'm trying to make. 303 cop light just the other morning drops his kids off at school.
Oh, I think you guys are talking about usurpation. I like this. This is a good subject matter. Usurpation.
Cop gets.
You want to stop that shit? This is good shit. Good job.
So the cop gets handsy, right? But then we find out it's not even a cop. It's yet again kind of like Blind Justice's situation, a hired security agent. Okay, this guy, okay, not only does that, but gets on his gun after 303. Right. He does what? 303 gets handsy right back. As soon as that dude starts touching him, man, he swung him right around and was like, no, you know what I mean? And then let him know that this is where he stood. And I think that's the right move. It's scary. And you know what? It almost cost my boy his life the other day. If you watch the video, little security officer number 2 pulls his gun and is ready to shoot him through the window. Had his partner not been on the other side as a backstop, he probably would have.
Right.
You know, I mean, we're talking inches of life and death, but
that's what
303 did it to prove a point. You know what I mean? And that point is that they get handsy. They're outside of the bounds of the law, and they're acting with the color of law and their authority. You need to stand up and say nope and refuse. You need to resist because unlawful demands are unlawful.
Right. But check it out. There's a civil way of doing that, though, Liberty Bird, and it's called citizen's arrest.
Yeah, I gotta say that. Good luck on that one.
Hey, do you know how many cops are disorderly? Hey, it's disorderly conduct to arrest somebody who a cop should reasonably know is exercising their constitutional rights when they try to sit there and convert that right into some sort of conduct-based thing like smelling alcohol or like making loud noise or flipping the bird.
And how many cops do you think are going to let you citizen arrest another cop?
Yeah, well, then check this out. Let me pose this question, gentlemen. Raise your hand in here.
I know that's why I like this. There's a lot of we're in a progression here. You know, it's kind of a progressive society. Liberty.
I'm listening.
What'd you say?
Whatever. Yep. I'm listening to you, Liberty.
Yeah.
Oh no, man! I was just saying, I've actually arrested someone under citizen arrest before, and I'll tell you what, the cops would have arrested me had I not been exactly right about the situation. And you got to be really careful because then all of a sudden you're holding someone against their will. That applies.
My deal is
the same as it would apply to anybody else. So
exactly.
My deal is
charge of kidnapping a cop or holding a cop under detainment against.
This all sounds well.
Hey, but for felonies, citizens are supposed to do that shit, dude. You have a duty. What?
I was trying to say something.
I do agree with you that is our duty. At the same time, at what risk yourself are you putting?
Can I speak? Can I speak, please?
Absolutely.
All right. This all sounds well and good. What you're saying sounds well and good. But what cop is going to back you to do a citizen's arrest on a cop?
The cop.
It's been proven.
Bag for him.
That's the problem that you got. What cop's going to back you to citizen arrest another cop? So even Furry tried to citizen arrest a fucking goddamn security guard that got handsy with her, and the cop said, "I ain't doing it." Literally,
oh my God!
Same thing.
So
The only cop that would do that would be one that actually was doing police work like that with a nice fat cushion of money, and they weren't relying on that job. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Straight up.
and actually had some also common decency and courtesy for
Right.
citizens.
I've seen a couple of videos of officers arresting officers, and outside of that, they're all behind the blue line, bro.
Yeah,
I can tell you this. Now, you know, we can go on and on, but we can do this, we can do that. There's a billion different things we can do. There's only a very small handful of things that we are not going to end up on the bad end of that stick.
right.
But
Right.
the truth is, if you want to fix the problem, you got to do it through legislation. You got to do it through the polls. You can't, we can, you know, I mean, I wish we could sit here on YouTube and fix it, but we can't. You got to get with your politicians, and I know how that goes. I know what you're thinking, but it's the only choice we got. They're going to have to come up with a law that if a cop, you know, wants to screw with someone, and there's video that's not being cut showing that you did nothing wrong, that cop is going to take the charge, whatever it is.
Well, we got to have
up the charge he charged you with.
Well, that's the thing. We got to get laws going to where that happened. But here's the problem.
Exactly.
Here's the problem with that. And let's take proven fact with Obama. 20,000 people in Minnesota alone came to life out of the grave to vote for Obama.
And then went right back to the
20,000
grave.
people and went right back to the grave.
Well, let's not get too much back into politics again, right? That's the
Yeah.
whole point.
It's a little strange. It's a little bit strange. I mean, I think the most important thing is like this thing with our auditor community, like the false arrests, dude. Like we got to address that because, like, I mean, like it doesn't matter. Like you know, like sometimes these First Amendment things, like they have some of the rights. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, there's different types of forums, and there's like, you know, there's known law that's out there. You know that, you know what I mean? So like. And is a general respect for these types of designated public forums, and then there's true public forums and stuff. There's like differences and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean that's just the legal system. I mean, you know, like we kind of take that into account with every, you know, with what we're looking at here. And when Johnny 5-0 was in a library, that is a designated public forum. It's not a traditional one. It's not a true one. You know what I mean? It's not like a public sidewalk or a park or something like that. So there is that issue.
Yeah, it's just as good as a public sidewalk, in my opinion.
I mean, that's just an opinion, though, but the law surrounding the issue actually is leaning in a completely different direction than your opinion. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just saying.
No, I mean, ultimately, you're right. Yeah, when they're backing it up with statute, it's the way it is. Like,
how is it statute, though? No, wait a minute. Because if you think about it, under common law, people that are in like a place that they have no other choice, in other words, there's no escape to get out, it's called false imprisonment. You can't, you know, if you're on a bus, right, and you start auditing and recording everybody, nobody can leave the room, right? Whereby if you're walking down a public, you know, lobby or something like that, and people can shut the door, then so be it. You know, there's a difference there because people can leave, but on the bus they can't do it. So they have this little thing. You know what I mean? That they try to like.
And on that same bus, they got a camera watching us, and they're watching everything we're doing. And like, I'm on some. You're gonna watch me. I'm gonna watch you. You know what I mean? That's a thing. How do you?
I get that. I get that.
Texas and Denver are watching stream. Here.
I get that. It just also depends. I mean, like, it just depends, I guess. Like, if it's an audit, are you doing an audit? Are you on the bus recording for an audit? Or, you know what I mean? Like
everywhere is an audit, though, man. I'm on some. Anytime that you get that little feeling in your gut, get that camera rolling. You know why?
Right. Okay.
Because it needs to happen more. People need to get comfortable with the camera because guess what? Everywhere I go, I'm under the camera. You know, but the difference is that at least when I'm putting other people under the camera, I have some discretion over that footage, right? I can choose, you know, what to release, what not to release.
Yes.
I have the ability to say what I want to say and to make sure that I'm not perceived in a different light than what I am. You know.
Well, you see, when I go out in the car, I make sure that camera's on.
Do you guys know what hey, Genty, what was Blind Justice arrested for exactly?
because he was they were trying to get him to leave because
Tammy Lynn, your name is not Jen T.
well fuck you then. I was going to explain to you.
No, but
I'm not saying I don't want to
Hey,
hear you. I love you.
Yo, he got mad at you, Auditron. He's like, cut me off. I'm mad at you.
He didn't leave, did he?
back in
He
here.
did.
Yeah, no, he's
Oh,
been
come.
all fucking night. Fuck him.
I'm being a. Hey, dude, I love you, dude. It's tough love. It's fucking tough love, dude.
No, fuck
Please.
you, Ottertron, tonight.
What?
Fuck you.
What?
You heard me.
Okay. You too, baby boy.
You're being a
Man.
prick tonight.
All right.
I'm not
Alright,
feeling that. I don't know what
alright.
he's talking about, you guys. I'm just having a good time. So, anyways. But yeah, man,
I think he was trying to speak, and so I don't think he felt like he was heard.
I apologize, Tammy Linlin, if you felt like I offended you somehow. But I wasn't trying to, man. But yeah, man, like the false arrest is important to pay attention to because there's an
Well, they
you
arrested him
did-
because he wouldn't leave
Yeah.
out his property quick enough, and the fact that he wouldn't turn off his recorder. But they're going against. He has every right to have that on because he's in ADA compliance.
Yeah,
all
he has
those
the right to
issues
have
are
no
like not
regard.
even important.
He has the
But
right
those
to-
issues don't even matter. Yeah.
Yeah,
What?
yeah. I'm on some. If there's any type, you don't create privacy in public places, right? I don't care if that's your public lobby. I don't care if that's your public office.
Right.
You know, you need to make sure that if it's not supposed to be seen by something, and then if you suspect that something could possibly be seen, you need to put that shit in your drawer, tuck it away. Make sure that the things that aren't of public are protected while you're able to serve the public in the places that you've deemed.
hmm Exactly, and that's exactly the point what I was saying about the limited or designated forum. What I think the reason here's where the security guards screwed up. They made a false arrest because they said it was trespass when they had already clearly released him. You see what I'm saying? And then they did that after he said that. So that was like it was almost malicious. You see what I'm saying? Like you could think of it as a malicious prosecution. I mean, that's the complete removal of a qualified immunity by of that security guard. What the
Well,
fuck?
and it doesn't look good that he had prior encounters with that same dude.
Right. But
Yeah,
with his,
it's
Yeah,
screwed
Jen.
up, especially with extra good citizen.
are you talking about? Wait, the dude in the wheelchair, Blind Justice, or what?
No.
Well-
So, we were talking about Blind Justice, but she's also making the reference back to Extra Good Citizen. You got-
So what? He with Blind Justice, and they both got arrested.
No,
or
no,
what?
no. Our extra good citizen was down at Leon Valley, and he was talking to the newscast, and they're like, he's letting them know they're pricks in here when it comes to the media. They're like, well, hang out with us, come in with us, because they were having a public, Leon Valley was having a public meeting,
Yeah.
letting media in. Well,
What?
yeah.
And he went in there, and then he got arrested.
What they did was they talked to the media part, the news, but the thing is, I don't know what news station it is. I wish I knew what it was because they didn't have no
Okay.
logo saying
Okay.
what news it is. Tammy pointed that out to me. I was like, oh shit. So they basically baited him basically.
I'll show you my face. I'll show you my face.
They basically baited him and told the media that they go over to the other door. We'll let you in. That's the way to go in for the meeting. And they're like, well, can we? He's like, well, can we all go in and get set up ahead of time? And they're like, no. And he's like, okay. So they waited. The guy, that little fucking cat or chubby dude, whatever, the one that's Savio's pet, saw
Right.
him there, asking the question. And what they did was they told the newscaster, come on, let's go. We'll let you come in. And they're like, okay, they're letting us in. He was going behind them. The cop went in front of him. The cop went in front of them and freaking turned around and grabbed a hold of him and said, you're being arrested for obstruction. And he goes, well, what do you mean by obstruction? He goes, you
Whoa.
obstructed the, doorway.
Wait a minute. So is he saying he's drunk or something?
No, they're saying that he was obstructing the doorway for anybody to come through.
Right, but that's not even arrestable. So if you think about it, the grabbing and all that, I mean, right?
There was four
Come
of them
on.
that grabbed
Yeah.
him and put him up the,
Yeah.
put him against the wall.
I mean, you want to talk about excessive force claims? There's one right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you really think about it, right there, because you
Yeah,
can't sit
So
here
they
and
baited
yeah.
him.
fuck.
They baited him
Yeah.
to go
Yeah.
in with the other, saying, "Oh, it's okay" and everything. To go in there. They just wanted to arrest him. They don't want none of our orders in there. But it's okay
Right.
for the news media to go in.
Right.
And the
I'm
news
yet to
media
be
didn't even have a
arrested for any
logo.
auditing.
So I would love to know what news media that was.
So Extra Good Citizen also got arrested today
Yes.
doing that. Is that what
Yes.
you're saying? Right?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Johnny, Extra Good Citizen,
And you're
Blind.
clean
yeah,
shade. Nice,
Blind Justice.
Optron.
I am not. Well, thank you.
Yeah, nice and
Nice.
cleaned up. Yeah.
I'm just standing here now, looking at myself in the reflection of this nicely
Yeah,
Handsome
Jason
man.
Jason.
Man,
sponsored
Jason
by all the
Goddard.
followers and
What's going on,
supporters. Thank you, guys.
Oh,
Jason got that. What's
love
up,
hearing from
Jason?
you, bro. He's a cool motherfucker.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
jumping
Liberty
back
Bird
in.
is
Just
awesome.
call me.
Yeah, MF.
Autotron. By the way, you look like an entirely different person without your fucking beard mustache.
I know,
He
right?
does.
Damn, it looks good, bro.
Handsome.
It looks
Thank
good,
you.
bro. It does. Dude, I'm sorry. I'm still pissed off over what I saw with the cops. I took out my anger on you. I apologize for that. That shit with fucking goddamn Blind Justice has me beyond pissed.
Yeah,
And it should.
I'm pretty pissed off about it right now too because they don't have the right to do that. They don't have a warrant. First of all, that's a huge issue. And how long did it take them to take him to a magistrate? Did they take him to a magistrate?
Here, Blind Justice,
Yeah.
as far as I know, there ain't even charges put up on the computer yet for him.
No, he bailed or bonded out on a PR, personal recognizance, right?
Right.
Oh, is
Okay.
that-
They gave him a ticket.
But see, hey, did you know that that's exactly what false imprisonment is? If they arrest you and they don't take you to a magistrate, that's against the common law. Period.
And they claim
That's a
that they did.
False imprisonment. You
Hey,
can't
can
sit
you
here
do
and
that
say,
talk for me again?
I mean, guys, we got this shit. All we have to do is come together, dude. We're doing it now. Woo! I'm excited as fuck.
Thank you, Jason.
What's
Thanks,
that?
Jason.
Good
By
job,
the
you
way.
guys.
Talk for me again?
I fucking
Humble
love all
guy?
of you.
What's good with Jason?
Fuck yeah, Jason got it.
Everything's good, man. I mute me so I don't echo.
Awesome.
Hi,
Thank you for doing
Jason.
that song. I'm gonna listen to it then.
What happened?
You did that song again, The Humble and Kind?
Yeah.
How's your
Yeah, I
kids,
popped
Jay?
up.
I was
Jason,
just
are your kids okay, man?
absolutely. I wish the little girl was in here to see it because she loves seeing it. She just laughs.
Right?
Little
Right.
girl.
Yeah.
Damn it.
And sleeping.
Damn it. Seeing Autotron without his fucking beard and mustache is just like mind
Hey, you
blowing.
don't
want to
know
see
why
that
she
shit again?
laughed.
Hey, you want to see that shit again?
I
Look,
know,
look,
that's
look, look, look,
exactly
look.
right. Autotron,
Man.
she just can't stop
Shape up.
laughing.
Shape
I don't
up,
know
man.
why. I love it.
You're little,
How you doing?
You're little,
How you
you're
doing?
little- Yeah, you freaking look awesome, dude. I'm sorry. No, I'm not trying to hit on you or anything, but you do look awesome.
No, I understand what you're saying. I mean, I know I look good. The thing about it is, I love myself. I mean, I am a fucking egotistical, conceited bastard. So I'm not mad. Thank you for that.
Crystal Skull. That's cool.
Oh,
I'm eccentric as fuck.
You're eccentric. Yeah, you sort of do fit the bill of eccentricness.
Right?
But in a good way. Because I think
Liberty Bear, what's going on, man? Nice to see you.
Well, Genty is a host, and she is actually an extrovert in her own way. You know,
We
So-
all are in our own way.
right?
Yep.
Thank you, Genty, for your show.
You're
So kind to host it. I mean, I just think that it's super important to pay attention, though. Also, right,
Jason.
right, to all of the true shit, the real reasons, and everybody knows
Yep.
what false arrests, and what
Yep.
it comes down to is, well, basically, probably underground regulations. That's actually a fixture of law.
Panel.
Hi.
You guys ever heard of?
Hello.
Don't
Hello,
stop talking.
Mr. Liberty. Hello.
Oh, you guys
little
are so
one
sweet.
Liberty.
Oh, the
Mm,
name.
kisses,
Oh, look at the youngin.
Oh,
kisses,
don't
kisses,
cry.
Otacon, put your face back up there. That'll make that baby laugh in a heartbeat.
I didn't mean to interrupt the conversation. I was just, introducing
That's
the family.
hilarious.
He likes to get involved.
Oh my god. Why do I look like? Hey, people say I look like Robin Williams, man.
You look a little bit like him. A little bit
I'm not
longer in
putting-
the face, but you look a little
I'm
bit
longer in the face. That's sad.
Beautiful.
Well, your face is actually longer than Robin Williams. That's what I mean.
That's fucking awesome. Liberty, was that Liberty Boy that laughed? That's fucking
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I got a chuckle.
I love that shit. You're awesome, bro. Oh shit. You got some
Where's my
insight.
Mountain Dew? Where the fuck's my Mountain Dew, Liberty?
Say again, brother.
I said, where the fuck's my Mountain Dew?
Come get one, bro.
Hey, Liberty.
Doritos too.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
It's getting
San
real
Doritos.
now.
It's getting real now.
You guys want to see the cabinets I built?
Yeah,
Did
let's
you, yeah, fuck yeah.
My house
Hey,
is kind of a mess, but I'll show you a little stuff.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Damn, you
You
built
have
that?
360 camera, right?
I do have a 360 camera.
Right on. Sick. It
You're
just
a
sits
hell
on
of
your
a
phone
carpenter,
or what?
Boom. Got live edge slab wood.
That's dope.
You're a hell of a carpenter, dude. I like that. And I love that rough
Oh
look.
damn.
Oh, that's neat.
That is cool. You can barely see it.
I'm jealous.
I like
I
the,
love that kitchen.
I love that rough look to it.
Yeah, it's all about
Yeah.
the live edge up here in the mountains, man.
Oh, the baby.
Like my railings and stuff.
Yeah, look at that.
I'm trying to see if I can get it where I'm at.
All rough
Is it a
looking.
wooden cabin?
No. So I actually live in a modular with a walkout, but I put log work all up in the house. My deck's all made of log. I got badass logs, dude. You want to see some badass logs? Yeah, I'll show you some badass logs.
There we go.
Oh,
Now, if you would have heard Salty Red say he had some badass logs and you would have seen my logs, you know he'd be going to the
Oh, that's
toilet.
cool.
baby.
Damn, bro.
Man.
Look at the
I'm
owl.
so jealous.
Look at them owls. Them look so cool. Yeah.
Freaking awesome.
Yeah, those are the ones inside. I got some other shit outside too. I'll show you my bears and then I'll quit bragging.
Hey, brag all you want.
Okay, your break never started. I want to see that baby, the beautiful baby. Oh.
I know, right?
And then they get old. And then they get old.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Oh, look at the bear. That is so fucking cool. Look at that. That is so
That is
cute.
sick.
Oh, that's sick.
That
Pretty
is
badass. I love
Do
my
you do
log.
wood carving?
Yeah. I got all kinds of cool little skills.
Yeah, you did great.
Damn.
How do you carve your wood with a chainsaw?
Yep. That and some chisels. Hit it with a shitload of varnish, sometimes flame.
Damn.
Awesome.
It's
I
awesome.
love woodwork. Yeah, it's just fun.
There's good money in it.
Hey,
You found a trade.
everything helps.
Hey,
I'm down.
you know what's an interesting thing about it is Liberty Bird is this weird. Have you ever heard about the blending of commerce and trade?
Tell me more.
Well, basically, that commerce and trade are not necessarily the same thing. That somehow down the road they have been actually blended and merged together, and
Well,
that what we
that's when that's individual to commerce contract.
individual commerce contract.
No, it's individual versus commercial contract.
or commerce contracts?
Liberty, that
What would qualify? What would qualify as a commercial contract, in your opinion?
Well, check this out. So here we'll separate the two right now.
Well, no, just answer my question. I just want to know what would qualify as a commercial contract in your opinion, and then we can
my
separate.
business license.
Your business license?
Yeah, my marriage license even. You want to get into it? Anytime
you think? Oh my God.
No, I
Really?
think
Come on
anytime that I
now.
sign a contract with the government, whether it's through my identification, I signed a contract just to get an ID. Okay, I signed a contract based on my IRS rules changed since I got married. Right, these are all contracts, and they're commercial contracts or commerce contracts. Versus if I own something like, say, a flower, and you want that flower, and I gave you that flower, right? It's none of their business. It's my personal contract, my individual contract with you, because it's my possession.
Yep, the wheels are turning.
I mean, I'm listening to him, but I mean, I know about possessions, but I mean, and then possessions have something to do with, I guess, commercials. I mean, well, wait a minute. I mean, I would say that property doesn't have anything to do with commerce these days because of times changing, because big time commerce actually takes place. And like when we're just like buying a car or going to the grocery store, that's not commerce traditionally. You know what I mean?
Check it out. I own Bitcoin. It's my possession, right? It's my property. Government doesn't get none, don't have none. It's none of their business because it's my property as an individual. And if you disagree with that, look at what New Zealand has claimed, and it is property, and it's also commerce. It can be used as tender, and I use mine as tender.
Right.
So I'm using it for commerce even, right? So
you might be, but is your Bitcoin attached to one of your bank accounts that you're using your state ID on?
No, Bitcoin is all entirely different thing.
Because the thing about it is, if it is a corporate thing, then the state ID is probably important. You know what I mean?
It's decentralized. It's property. I own property.
Mhm.
And unfortunately for the government, they have no business to tax property that's not theirs, that they didn't obtain or have help with.
So you could just, I mean, I don't want to get into a Bitcoin conversation. I mean, I guess I can ask Bitcoin questions. Yeah. But the idea is, I mean, like, what did you say? What are you saying? Like, in short?
Ultimately, you have to separate the two. So there's commercial contract.
Sorry.
I have the right to contract with you that anything that is in my possession that is my property and not the property of the government, right? And the government, makes contracts with me all the time that I disagree with and are forced upon me, but I still make contracts with Congress.
They make contracts with you?
Absolutely. Did you get an
No,
ID?
absolutely not. No, I disagree with that. And not that doesn't mean that we don't actually get along. All it means is that on this one point, like I disagree because I've done some specific research into what the elements of a contract are, and I don't think there's any type of consideration, you see what I'm saying, involved on my side or your side, so therefore it can't be a contract, but we can consent to a, you know what I mean? We can consent. We can waive shit.
If I have a job and I'm working in Canada and they're paying me and they're taking taxes off my check, is that not a contract with the government?
If you have a job?
Yeah, I'm working. They take taxes off my check. Is that not a contract with government?
I wouldn't say that the government taking taxes off of your check is a contract. No, I wouldn't say
No,
that.
I can tell them to stop.
I don't see why not.
I wonder what would happen if I did that.
Yeah, no, it definitely grows interest, and you definitely are going to be paying a VIG. Promise you that.
Well, I can just tell you now, I think that you have to start thinking about the common law because Canada is a common law country as well. You know what I mean? Like, if you think about like common law before 1066, they, a lot of stuff was actually Christian. There were a lot of Christian communities. And I'm only saying that because of this concept of taxes. The concept of taxes actually comes from a thing called tithing. Tithing is
Yep.
is
Working
it, it and so like yeah, like tax is a form of
So I'm
tithe.
pretty
If you
sure last time
consent
I
to give
checked,
it,
though, it's no longer a tenth. I'm pretty sure I'm up to approximately 30%, somewhere in there as an individual business owner, right? But I think Jason's point is that you do. You don't have a choice in these contracts that are made on your behalf, and it's because the ownership of the state over you as a slave or slash citizen, right? So ultimately, have you got a federal ID yet? Because the state has made a contract with the federal government to make sure that everybody has a federal ID by the year 2020.
I like that. You blow my fucking mind, why don't you?
True. It's true though. It's
But you
simple
know what?
shit.
Don't fucking sit here and talk to me about that shit because
I'm just
I could
throwing it out
fucking
there.
go into detail and you don't want to hear what I have to say about it, okay?
Oh, come on now.
No. Honestly, I'm trying to appreciate the feedback.
We love you, man.
Like trying to like evaluate every angle.
Right.
I love what you're saying though, guys. Yeah, it's good shit.
Yes.
Yeah, we're taking the break tonight on the politics and shit.
It's all about me.
What do you guys want to talk about?
It's all about
Oh,
me.
shit.
Bill.
Oh God, anything.
I mean, it's not politics to talk about concern for you know, the citizen dude, you know, that's in jail right now. What's his name again?
Blind Justice or Extra Good
Blind
Citizen? Yeah,
Yep.
Either one of those, yeah.
Five-0. Yeah, they're all
that
out
shit.
too. Interestingly enough, they're all out now.
Good.
Oh, are
Thank you
they?
for
Are they
that.
both out?
Yeah, Johnny got out. Extra Good Citizen was at the
Yes.
hospital
Right.
and was trying to find someone to help him get an Uber.
But let me
No
ask you this:
joke.
don't you think that that's a due process violation? Just check this out, guys. Listen.
What?
From my research, if they arrest you and don't take you to a justice of the peace, who are they to determine that you have the right to get out? They're only supposed to enforce the law.
That's what we're all fighting for.
They're only supposed to enforce the law. They're not supposed to make determinations about your ability to get out or not. You see, that's a bit, that's
Covered in police policy under officer discretion.
Yep. And
Well-
apparently they can fucking win it every time.
seems like some due process violations right there to
Give
me.
them.
Yeah.
Nope.
They're not going to win it in the long run, but they're going to win it at the moment in time.
Yep.
Officers
Can't-
have discretion. You can't beat it, right?
I don't know. I mean, I think you can. We can
Yeah,
do
you
it.
can beat it after it happens, but at the moment,
Yeah. At the
you got
moment.
no fucking chance.
No, let me tell you something,
What are you
guys.
going to do? Pull out your gun and
advanced
shoot
system.
the cop?
I have an advanced system that I haven't even told you guys about.
Tammy.
That who's talking? I'm sorry, I'm interrupting. Who was that?
No, you're not.
Yeah.
No, I was having a side conversation with my wife. My apologies. I'll hit the mute
Oh,
button.
my bad, yo, my bad. The side thing is this, guys. This solution, right, has to do with like auditors, people that go around and watch cops and stuff like that in their communities, thinking of themselves more along the lines of justices of the peace instead of as thinking of themselves as, like, you know, you can be press, you can be press and justice of the peace at the same time instead of citizen. You know, like, you be citizen, justice of the peace, and press all at the same time. For crying out loud. Okay? But the point is that the only reason police exist, okay, is because we have top-down authoritarianism in all of the major cities and counties in the United States. And what it is it's provisional government. They're using common law, right? And creating these municipal corporations that have a semi-autonomous character, right? That they assume, and they can opt out of the state laws and opt their own stuff in, you know. And there's just all kinds of room for ambiguity and manipulation, you know. And not just that, but if you look at the common law, you can see that you would have basically about one justice of the peace for every 10 households, or maybe actually I think it's for every 100 households you would get a justice of the peace. So in San Francisco, there should be so many more. There should be just as many justices of the peace running around the streets as there should be police officers. There's no reason for us to sit here under common law and endow a legislative creature known as the police officer with the character of a justice of the peace. It's bullshit. Once the people start stepping up, we can do it on our own. That's when those arrests can actually start happening. You know, I mean, but I doubt it. We're gonna find that is I think people are gonna wise up and they're gonna correct their ways or just convert their little tyranny into a different direction.
Yep.
Nope, we lost.
Well,
him.
you made a couple of good points. The only thing I disagree with is that the original appointment of law enforcement and regulation is constitutional, and that's for the sheriff, and he's appointed by the people. Outside of that, I mean, he's got a great point about the tyrannistic police and juror and trial.
Y'all want to know what actually has the authority over sheriff here in the United States?
What's that?
What's that?
Sure do.
There's only one thing in the whole United States, and you can put yourself on the ballot for it. It's another elected position.
The mayor.
No.
Okay.
The county mortician.
No joke. The county mortician supersedes the sheriff himself.
Yes.
Well, no. The county. He's talking about justices of the. Basically, yeah, like that dude's a peace officer.
Yep. The county mortician is higher than the sheriff himself.
If you needed a warrant, you could actually go to your mortician or, yeah. Yes. That's true.
And most people have even forgotten about that. It's a forgotten thing in most government. I figured it out being in Missouri and Arkansas, where they went about making sure people were put on the ballot as county morticians.
Well, what's the technical name though? In the city, what's the technical name in the city? It's not a mortician. It's like a coroner. The coroner. There you go. The coroner. There we go. The coroner is the one with the actual justice. I mean, the peace officer status. The mortician, I think, is like a private contractor or something like that. Don't you think?
You're right. It's the county coroner. Yes, you're right.
Okay.
County coroner. You're right.
Well, you got a lot of white people out there, John.
I was using the wrong word. You're right. It's the.
I don't like being right all the time.
But no,
only sometimes.
Right. I'm glad you were right then, because I was stating the wrong word. It's the county.
No, Archon, you're wrong. Just say.
So put yourself on the ballot.
Hey, do me a favor, spank me, Justin. Justin, can you spank me? Spank me.
I'll fucking punch you if you want.
There's my butt, yo. Spank me.
Smack.
Come right fucking here. I'll fucking punch you. I'll fucking spank you.
So put yourself.
Smack.
So put yourself on the ballot for that, and get yourself and elect yourself for that. And guess what? You can tell the sheriff what the fuck to do. If they allow you to do it.
Yeah, I was. Well, what do you think about formation of townships instead of the way that the counties are situated within the zoning structure of the municipal corporations and stuff like that, and the state structure?
Municipalities.
Yeah, the municipal structure, right? Now, the way that that local government is situated at this point in time is basically as if it almost feels like the local people are not allowed to form their own communities if they choose to. They have to ask the legislature for permission to do it, and that is actually not true.
We're not allowed to think on our own.
You see,
so we live in a non-municipality.
Yeah.
So
and it's incorporated places.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we had a burglar here. I think it was 2 years ago. There was a burglar running around, and I was running around in my flak jacket with my AR in the seat and my sidearm cocked and locked. Right? Cops didn't like it. They wanted to come have a talk with me about vigilante
activity, you know, because some of the neighbors are upset that I'm taking action in my own hands, but they leave at 8 o'clock
Right.
at night, right? And the funny thing is, I built actually a decent relationship with some pretty decent dudes in law enforcement. Of course, you know, if it wasn't my relationship with them and it was you, you know, would they treat you the same way, right? I mean, I've handed those dudes, you know, crooked ass kids that were stealing cars, and luckily for me, I was right. You know what I mean? So it kind of put us on a different playing field than I have with most officers. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
I got something to put you on a different fucking play. Yo, you want to be put on a different playing field with police officers? Let me ask you this. Have you ever heard of quantum grammar?
No.
Yes. Yes.
Tell me about quantum grammar.
6 hours.
Well, what it is it's quantum. Okay, first of all, I can summarize quantum grammar pretty simply. It's a single purpose use rule where you use each part of speech for one purpose only. That's what it is. Quantum grammar is a rule, okay, for that, you know, when you use words in a sentence for writing,
Syntax,
you only use
right?
each word. You only use each word for with one purpose, whereby you're not going to necessarily use it in as a conjunction or as, like, you know, any other part of speech. You just identify each part of speech, is what I'm saying. I mean, I'm talking about that because I believe that it actually is an important part of actually bringing forward what actually we, you know, we could use, you know, in a lot of different ways to actually challenge a lot of the police reports. If you just go sit there and look at some of the police reports that come out of the stations regarding all of these false arrests and stuff, I mean, a lot of the grammar is all fucked up, guys. You know what I mean? Really?
It's exactly the way I see it. It's break down a sentence. One, like 4 or 5 words in a sentence. It can mean many things.
But if you look at the
So you have to
police
detail
report,
what you're saying in the sentence. Break it down. I've been learning how to break.
I mean, yeah, break it down. But I mean, like, look at the police report and basically, you know, notice how they write in stupid sentence structures. Sometimes they do run-on sentences. They don't put periods. Some of these people just don't know how to write, you know. And if you do, that not only does it prove your competency, you know what I'm saying, but it actually introduces a rule. Hold on a second. It introduces a rule of court, okay, that the legislature cannot proscribe. Because who is the legislature? If you look at all the statutes, quantum grammar is nothing more than a number system over the parts of speech. Liberty Bird, it's forensic evidence, okay, about the location of each part of speech as well. Like, so think about this. When you think about rules of court, right? You think about everything has to be correct according to the rules of court and to all the statutes, right? So if you're a human being and you have the individual freedom to protect life and liberty and property and all that stuff, why can't you bring forward a rule? You can, you know, and because the legislature doesn't prescribe this one rule, you can do it in your own individual life. That's the beauty of quantum grammar, you know what I'm saying, in my opinion. But, you know, I think one main use of it, right, should be, and the purpose of it should be devoted to actually redressing government. And you're not, you know, if trying to use quantum grammar to get out of, you know, criminal actions and stuff like that is probably not going to work. Just putting that out there.
I was going to say, how can an auditor or anybody along those lines, an activist, use that? Can't.
It just can't. They can. They can use it. I'm saying.
You can.
Go ahead, dude.
If you get a ticket, right, for going 55 and a 65, 10 under, right? But he says he clocked you going 95 miles an hour. He's technically lying in his form. So you could actually go and actually use that as, you know, he obviously, you know, made a false report. He didn't take the actual information and do it. So they say officer discretion, but the fact is you can beat that.
Yep.
Well, I'm saying that basically you can say that when let's just say, like, for example, you don't consent to contract with them on any level. Like, you don't want to make an agreement, you don't want to contract, you don't want to, you know, this autograph or printed name with punctuation marks in it and all that stuff basically serves as like you saying no thank you to any type of agreement. You know what I mean? Unless, of course, they use quantum grammar. You see? But they will never use quantum grammar, even though they have the right to do it, and it's English language, which makes it correct for me to do because I speak English, and this is a fucking English-speaking country, and I know the law is supposed to be written in English, and I know that the fucking Constitution is binding on the government, and therefore, you know, it's a spirit of the law that matters, not the black letter of it. Yes, for the government, definitely the black letter, they are bound by that, right? But when it comes to the people, we're the ones that actually have the duty, actually, of with this ebb and flow to actually determine where we're going to see, you know, ourselves.
I mean, that's a rough one right there, man. So I'm born out of country, right? Military brat.
Right.
So my birth certificate, unlike you, isn't from a state, which means that I'm not a statesman. Mine comes from the Department of Treasury. Yeah, it happens. But it comes from the Department of Treasury, which ultimately means that I'm owned by the federal government, right? So they kind of, I mean, me out of and others like me, right? Ultimately have less freedom than you do as a statesman.
I think well, here's the interesting thing about what you're saying is that's lovely. I mean, I appreciate what you're saying, that you think that people that are foreigners have less rights than citizens would have, or statesmen would have.
I'm not a foreigner. I'm a military brat.
Don't get it twisted either. That I'm not confused about, you know, equal protection of the law. You know, so these people that come here as foreigners have just as much rights, and we have just as much rights as anyone that becomes a citizen as well. Just because we don't have a loyalty oath, look, I don't have a loyalty oath. I don't know about anybody. I've never served in the military, and I've never immigrated to this country, but I have no loyalty oath, but I'm still super loyal to the values, you know? So what's your take? What's your stance on that? On people that don't have any type of oath? How can we prove our loyalty to the country without being treated like enemies of the state? Please help me.
That's going right into politics, Solitron.
Just says boo.
No, I didn't give the boo.
I know. I'm teasing.
I got the answer. Always stay humble and kind.
Yes.
That's a good motto.
See, right here. I just want to bring this up. No police officer, deputy sheriff, state trooper, or any sworn peace officer has the authority to arrest the sheriff. If Officer Smith stops a car and the driver is the county sheriff who's drunk, Officer Smith can legally detain the sheriff until the county coroner can get there to place the sheriff under arrest.
Yep.
Become friends with your county coroner, everybody.
Yep. The county coroner can place the sheriff under arrest.
Yep. Buy that guy a beer.
Only one. Huh?
I said, buy that guy a beer.
Yeah.
That's not true. Hey, dude, let me tell you something right now. You can place the fucking sheriff under arrest, Tammy.
Yeah, but
what?
Not according to
the corner can.
Not according to this law. You can only have him detained until the coroner can arrest him.
I don't know, dude. I think you need to look into it a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Test me out a little bit. You know, I can prove it. I'll give you some case law right now if you want it.
No.
We're not going into politics.
Give me the case.
It's not politics. No. It's law.
It's not politics.
God damn it.
Okay, ready to go.
My hand's been off the keyboard. I haven't touched him.
I know.
Guess what I'm keeping in my glove box? I already have a complaint form ready to go, so I don't have to ask for one.
Oh, fuck. You're complaining on me?
Hey, did you make it?
Complaint
No,
form
no,
for me.
I got it. I went down and got it, but I figured like if I get pulled over for anything, I'm just gonna throw it on the dash, and then I just keep looking at it, looking at him, looking at it, looking at him.
Even
So
a
you got
Texas Ranger, even a Texas Ranger, according to this, cannot arrest,
Complaint
but
form.
can only detain a county sheriff because they are the highest elected official in the county.
No, apparently
Liberty-
you got it.
Liberty Bird made a statement about a complaint form, and you were talking about the sheriff's authority, and those are two separate issues. And I would like to address both issues, but I mean, I think Liberty Bird's statement about his form is kind of it's important. So, how did you come up with this form? I mean, yours is important too, Tammy, but this thing is kind of bugging me. Please go, Liberty Bird. Where'd you get the form?
I picked up the form straight from the Larimer County Sheriff's Office. So I went down there. They gave me an envelope if I want to even mail it in. That's how professional they were. And the thing was, they didn't give me no guff about it. It was all anonymous.
I love it.
Yeah, you don't get that very many places, believe it or not.
Awesome.
So they gave me the citizen complaint form, and then I literally drive around with it everywhere I go now. And if I have an encounter, I
Cool.
can throw it up on the dash, and we'll see if they want to bite at it.
Do you want to send me a copy? Can you take pictures of it and send me copies? I'll write you a quantum grammar complaint form that has
There you
everything
go.
everything that they want on it.
Sounds good to
You know,
me.
Yeah, like I did that in Indiana when I went to help out James Jacobson. I made my own forms. I did FOIA requests and all that stuff using quantum grammar, and it worked. And I got my FOIA requests. So, you know, introducing the rule can be done in different ways. It doesn't have to necessarily be done always through like legislation or even through like a court case or something. You can just go, you know, through a request.
Or internal affair internal affair policy made fucking policy enforced, and fucking their ultimate decision, right? Because when they see this complaint form, it doesn't leave their offices.
Well, that form looks, the front of that thing that you showed me right there looks more like a letterhead that they send to you. They said, and then what's the back one probably has instructions, right? Because that just looked like a letter. Yeah.
Yeah. So the first one was the letter, and then right behind the letter, you have a citizen's.
Can you show me that? Can I see that?
Yeah. No.
That'd be awesome.
The problem with this ultimately is that they ask for your personal information. That I didn't like. But
right,
if you're gonna fill out their form,
big. There you go.
See, that's pretty basic. I can do the same thing. Yeah, interesting. Take pictures of that and send it to me if you can, of both sides and all that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I'd like to hook you up. Yeah. I don't have a problem doing that. I actually have an interest in introducing this rule because you, my friend, are an advocate for free speech. And as an advocate for free speech, and being as how I am also subscribed to you, and we are probably subscribed to each other, we are members of an association of First Amendment activists, and we should look out for each other and use all parts of speech to our advantage. This is why I want to try to do what I can for you with regard to this forum you speak of so highly.
Awesome. Yeah. I think it's a good thing to keep in your car, though. If you have the ability to keep an officer complaint form on you, the thing about it is people always think twice when they're under scrutiny, right? And if they notice that you have an officer complaint form already, they know that you know how to scrutinize. So they're a lot more likely to, stand on the.
It's intimidation. It's an intimidation tactic. Don't stop giving it away. There's probably some trolls or cops watching right now. You're going to give away the secret. Don't do that.
I'm sure that they already know.
They'll look at that and go, you know what? Seen there, been there, done that.
Yeah. Well, I just interviewed one guy. He told me the other day that most officers have experienced complaints on them, according to him.
Right. Well, here's what's interesting to me is I think not rolling down your window should be protected, don't you think? If you think about it, we shouldn't have to roll down our window. I mean, I'm not trying to get too far off of the First Amendment subjects, but if I have my inalienable right of protection of life, right?
He'll be
Wife
back.
said it's bedtime.
Oh,
Nice
good. I'm glad Blind
Night.
Justice is out.
Night, love and hug.
Oh,
Thanks, Liberty.
But
man.
yeah,
Love you, bro.
that even the Rangers, the Texas Rangers cannot arrest a sheriff. They can only detain until the coroner comes and gets them.
I can't do this anymore, guys. I'm out of here. Liberty Bird, lovely. Tammy Bird, lovely. Tammy Bird? I mean, Tammy Linland. Okay. The fucking Gen T Bird, Human Bird, Otter Bird, Autotron Bird.
Yeah. Birds.
All of us birds. Let's.
Together,
I'm
man.
gonna float on. I'm flying on, guys. Take care.
All
All
right.
right, bud. You try to have a good night.
I will, and I'll see you. I love you guys, and I love you guys are fucking inspirations in my life. I will never forget you. Take care.
You
We
too.
love you too. Hey, you bring a lot to the table too, Autotron. Remember that, man. You really do. You've been a good inspiration to me too. So,
Metalhead. Yes, Liberty Bird
But-
beat you to it.
but yeah, you can look it up. All I did, who was over the sheriff? That's all I did for a search. And there's like pages talking about it. I mean, literally pages.
Well,
of
let's
different
talk a little
sites
bit
to
about
look
that
at.
though. So who gives funding to the sheriff? Do you know?
That's the taxpayer. It comes from taxpayer, and it can come. The funding can come from anywhere through your taxes, including United States funding, I might add. And that's why I love it when they start saying, "Oh, you ain't of this. You ain't from this county." I said, "It don't fucking matter. You get goddamn government funding. My taxes pay for that government funding. So
Yeah.
yes, I help pay your fucking wages, buddy boy."
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, short answer is county commissioner. So the commissioner ultimately is the one that gives budget to the sheriff, which I
Yeah.
found kind of interesting. So I made friends with my county commissioner, and me and him kind of disagree with a few things.
Right.
Others. So
But yeah, a lot of people have forgotten about that. That's a lost part of our actual checks and balances for the court. People just have forgotten about that, and they don't take you to become a county coroner. If you look at it, all you got to do is have a GED, 602 hours in medical examining school, and that's it. And you can become a county coroner.
that's a lot of hours in medical school.
Well, I understand that, but that's all it takes. You sit there, put yourself on a freaking computer, you can get that done pretty quick, actually. Couple of, what is that? About a year and a half?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, or you start getting in the minds of the county coroners that you already have in place. Like I said, buy that guy a beer, buy that gal some flowers. Be like, I want to talk to you about police brutality and the authority that you have over it.
Yeah. Yep. And the reason I found that out was in South Missouri and North Arkansas. They started putting people on the ballot because that's here in Pennsylvania, by the way. That's what you have to have. Now down in Missouri, I don't think you have to have that much because there's normal Joe Blows. They were, literally picking Joe Blow off the street to become a county coroner, just so they could get their damn sheriffs back under control. They were getting out of control.
Yeah, and like Autotron said, they're still typing up run-on sentences and can't communicate correctly, right?
Right. Well, that's me. I hate fucking punctuation. God dang.
You know what? Don't feel bad. Me too, buddy. I'm
we all
not
do.
the smartest bird, bro.
But yeah, you're right. Take the corner out for a beer and just, hey, let's go to the bar. Let's talk about this shit right here, tonight. Yeah. But they like in Missouri and Arkansas, they were literally taking, because they didn't have county coroners in a lot of the counties there. And then they found out, hey, the coroner can arrest the fucking sheriff.
Jeez.
Yeah. And he's the only one in the county that can.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so they started getting Joe Blow off the street, and say, okay, you become the county coroner, and they did, and they were getting the damn fucking county sheriffs under control quick because Joe Blow off the street was for everybody else in the county, you know. And and the sheriff went. I'll never forget. There was one sheriff in I forget the name of that. I think it was Brady County or something like that, Missouri. It's right there on the Missouri-Arkansas line. And the very first hour the guy was elected, he had the fucking sheriff in his fucking own jail. I mean,
That's badass.
yeah, the very first hour, he said, "You're under arrest. You're going to your own fucking jail." And then the sheriff tried to resist arrest, so he got a resisting arrest charges and everything put on him. And
Damn.
guess what? The sheriff had it got one felony put on him, and guess what? He couldn't be a sheriff no more because he couldn't carry a gun. So he was out being a sheriff.
That's awesome.
Flash, I
Convicted
know you're
felon.
lurking. Jump
Yep.
in.
Yep. And he got charged with that felony. And it was the coroner that got him charged with that felony. And it was felony resisting arrest because he punched the coroner in the face.
Damn.
So,
Yeah.
oopsie.
Yeah, that's standing on the Constitution if I ever heard it.
Yep. Well, that coroner, he was part of he was part of a group called the Constitutionalists. Okay, and they spend hours. That's their life is literally in that group. That's their life. It's knowing the Constitution inside and out, word for word. They can reset. You can say, okay, what the second sentence of the 18th Amendment. They'll spell it and spout you off that second sentence, word for
Damn.
word for word. Okay, literally.
Keeping the knife blade sharp there, right?
Yep. Straight up, he was a constitutionalist. He went by the Constitution. He lived his life by the Constitution, and he expected everybody else to go by the Constitution, including the sheriff who gave the oath to protect and uphold it.
Yep.
Yep. That's what it is. Yeah, that's where it needs to be too, to be honest.
Yeah.
And it's against what people they only say. Well, they only do the oath for enemies of the Constitution. Well, no, it breaks it down to foreign and domestic enemies of the Constitution. That means people right here in the United States.
You know what though? People that didn't even take that oath to federal or state, I believe, is responsible for upholding that. Did you see my last video, Tammy Lynn?
No, I haven't.
Oh man, I pushed the boundaries of what you can say and what you can't say and how you say it.
Right.
But I posed some serious questions. Do you have any way to pull that up, Jen?
Yes, I can pull it up. Give me a second.
Yeah, that'd be badass. Yeah, it's literally like a 50-second video. It's not very long at all. It's straight to the point, dude. But you know, like I'm getting to this point where we're seeing like the VA gun rally and what happened and what didn't happen there. You know, what we just recently seen in Milwaukee or whatever happened there or didn't happen there.
Honestly,
which one is it, bro?
That's gonna be the last one I uploaded.
Okay.
honestly,
yesterday?
you know what
Yeah.
you know what I think about that VA gun rally?
What's that?
They were only expecting very few people to actually show up for that. Okay. And the way it was set up for a small amount of people as well. The way they did the funneling and shit like that, it wasn't made for large groups. You know what I'm saying? And so they were expecting a small turnout for that.
You're close. I think that they knew the turnout. That's why they banned it from the Capitol, bro. They wanted us in pinch points because they had snipers surrounding the area.
What I'm getting at here by saying what I'm saying is honestly, I think if there wasn't as large of a turnout as there was, honestly, I think that was going to be an entirely different thing, and they were going to accuse the people of firing on them first, and there was going to be a massive bloodbath.
Very well could have been.
And because there ain't no reason that they should have had 50 cal machine guns mounted on them fucking buildings. And you could, Global News, go look at Global News.
I got pictures of it. I know.
Yeah. Okay. You got the picture, but Global News actually sent a drone up. Okay. They had their own drone up and did their own static footage and put it out, and they showed them damn 50 cal, and they were manned by military. They were not manned by the cops.
Dude, military was all in those buildings. Yeah. We seen military convoy and equipment leaving there, like Humvees and shit like that, leaving there the next day.
Mm-hmm. And that shit, and they ain't supposed to have military doing actions on the United States soil.
And that's why they stayed hidden in the buildings.
Yeah. And Global News caught them up there why that was going on, manning them 50 cals.
That's deep, man.
Yeah.
All right, we ready to watch this?
Yeah, sorry, Jen.
Yep, you're good. Make it big. Oops, if I hit the right thing.
We'll see how long I last on YouTube.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a good question.
Well, I know how far I want to go to protect it. So,
so how insightful is that? And then also I would pose the question is, how come I got to watch what I say in order to maintain my freedoms?
Right.
Why do I have to pose the question in that way instead of being able to be blatant and say my rights shall not be infringed? I think that's the easiest way to say it without getting in trouble.
Right.
Make sure you check out Liberty Bird and like his page and comment and subscribe.
Yeah, no doubt, no worries. Yeah, so I'm just kind of curious though, like, where do we take it when things like VA don't work with our words? We've seen them pass 17 more. I don't want to get into politics, but yeah, there's a lot of problems that we see. And the thing is that the best thing I think we can do right now is just stay armed, stay vigilant, stay sharp on our skills. And then we also, continue to use whatever resources we have to fight back. I don't take donations. I'm not monetized. I don't do any of that shit, right? Like I work for a living. I take the money that I make and I've invested in doing what I got to do and the fight that I'm fighting. And I suggest everybody take that stance. You know what I mean? Like bust your ass at that 9 to 5, get off, and then take care of your family. And when you're done with that, get out there and take care of everybody else's family.
Mm-hmm. Do what you can. Do what you can as best you can. Do it.
That's it. Right. So it's a call for action. That's why I put out that video. It's a call for action. At the same time, it also puts it out there as, like I said, great men have died, to fight for my freedom, your freedom. And the question is, like, who's going to stand up to fight for our freedoms at this point? Is it just a few of us in the auditing community? Because, you have us, and then you have the 2A community. And then you have, the 14th Amendment community, I want the 5th Amendment community. I just ain't going to say nothing, right? I mean, like the divided, they're attacking individual liberties and they're attacking constitutional rights on a whole nother level than they ever have before. They've been doing it a long time. So, yeah, we got to stand firm on that, man. We got to quit giving them an inch so they take a foot, and we got to put the foot right back where it goes in between them cheeks.
Right. Hopefully enough will stand up when it comes down to it. You know what I mean? Because it's coming down to it. It really is. It's and I'm not talking as far as bloodshed. I'm talking it's time. It's time for I'm talking. I want to see a peaceful resolution as best as anybody else can. Okay, you know, because honestly, because you know, there was one true statement in the movie, and it was bad, and it was The Patriot. You remember that with Mel Gibson?
Yeah, yeah, badass
Yeah.
axe moves. Oh, I love that
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, he said if we have a revolution, it'll be fought in our own yards where our kids will see it. And that's
Man.
what will happen if we do this again, just like it happened back then. And it was fought in their yards where
Yeah.
their kids saw it back then. Okay. It'll be the same right now. Okay. I would just as soon not have any kids subjected to anything like that. And
Yeah.
if we could go to a peaceful resolution, it would be nice.
Well, I think they were saying
No.
somewhere around like 12 kids a week are being injured by the bomb shelling that we're doing across the overseas and stuff right now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
12 kids a day injured. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
mean, like nobody's kid needs to go through that. There's ours.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah. You know, I mean, when if bullets start flying today with the guns that are there today on both sides, how many stray bullets would go and possibly injure the innocent? You know, things like
Yeah.
that. So I would rather see a peaceful resolution at any given time over any bloodshed. You know, or do it like the Native Americans used to do it when they had a problem like the Muskogee Creek and the Cherokee. They played a game. They played a game called the Little Brother to War, and
Okay.
it was the forerunner to lacrosse.
Mhm.
Okay,
I'm aware.
they had sticks that were about 2.5 foot long.
Yeah, on
that
the
had
horseback.
that had baskets on it, made out of hickory, and they had a little bitty small ball about that big around. And the only rules to the game was collecting points. Okay, on the game, and you had a fish up here or some type of fetish like a bear, a fish, whatever, on top of the pole. You hit that, you automatically win the game. Okay, down on, and then there was different sections on the pole that were painted different colors. Okay, and there's 2 of these poles on each side of the field. Okay, one for each team. Okay, they throw the ball up in the middle, and then now the only rest of the rules was there ain't no rules. Beat, maim, kill, whatever you got to do to make the point.
Jeez.
Literally.
Savages.
And what they would do was take the best out of one tribe and the best out of the other and put them up against each other. Well, okay, now let's say the right side over here beat the left side over here. The left side says, okay, we are going to listen to you because you already beat our best. Okay, that means you are a superior force over us. and that's how they did it. Okay, the loser submitted. The
Man,
winner.
so that's what we need to do. We need to find like the best and most fit, athletic, and trained cops, and then put them up against our most trained, and just let them beat the piss out of each other until we get what we need.
Right. Yeah. Put them out there.
I believe in a good old Christian beating, man. Like my wife tells me it ain't very Christian of me, but you know.
Well, back in the day, it used to be an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, and that's back when supposedly God was speaking, not a man that walked on earth.
Right.
Okay. You see what I'm saying? If you notice what God said back in the Old Testament, and that was God speaking, not Jesus speaking, who walked on earth, you see, as a man. You see, it's two different things.
I agree, and then I would also disagree, which is really hard to do sometimes. But I would say, yes, you're right. It was God that spoke. At the same time, when Jesus was put onto the earth, he came with the authority of the Father. So therefore, what he spoke was
the authority and the word of God.
But so God went from an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth to go to turn the other cheek and let them beat the living fuck out of you, and you still hug them up and embrace them.
Well, I think really that it's not exactly that. So ultimately, what it broke down to was man couldn't follow the law anymore. We've gone too far left, right? So if I mean, I can say this about myself. I can look at the 10 Commandments. And then I read the first one. It's thou shalt have no God before me. And I'm like, I'm good. And then I start reading the other ones and it's thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not covenant, thou shalt not, you know. And as I start reading through them, I'm like, oh shit, like which one of these have I not broken? And therefore have I not broken the first one, right? And so that posed the question. And so if you want to get into a little biblical stuff, Job actually was making a plea through all the crap that he was going through that we needed a mediator because we're unfit, we're unworthy to be able to be on the same playing field or to speak to God, right? You know, verbally or audibly, right? And so therefore, you know, that's why, you know, God sent
Can I stop you for 1 second? I don't mean to interrupt.
Yeah.
Tonight I ain't worried about the politics.
Don't want to get into religion.
And fact of the matter is, everything Trump says has already been said. The direction he's going is going down the tube. And if you don't like what the talk is tonight, you don't have to be here. So don't even start it tonight.
Jen laying it down. I like it.
But yeah, well, my deal is you know, the problem that I was having is when God supposedly spoke. Okay, that was the Old Testament. Okay, and them were God's true words.
Yeah, audible words even. Yeah.
Yeah, and you actually read that versus the New Testament. They're two different things completely. So God did a 360 or what?
Well,
what happened here? Because
think about the golden rule.
180, I should say.
And I'd love to hear what Jen has to say about this, but I would say think about the golden rule. Golden rule breaks down to love thy neighbor, right? So that goes in accordance with the audible word of God, right? And the 10 Commandments. If you look at the 10 Commandments, if you follow those, you will be in turn honoring, you know, thy wife and respecting thy neighbor and having a good relationship with your parents. You know, all those things are combined in the golden rule of love thy neighbor.
But yet he went on to say an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth.
And I think that at the point that he sent man down, right, to die for sin, ultimately what happened there was that it was no longer about eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. It was accepting that vengeance was God's and not man's, because me and you and everybody else kind of like us, once you know we're given the power to take vengeance, sometimes we do.
Well, that's what an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth is. And God said an eye for an eye for a tooth for a tooth. And then a man named Jesus said something different.
Well, you know, think about the evil that grew in man's heart, you know, when you start doing bad deeds and then you do it in the wrong way, you know, how's it going to affect the heart? So, I mean, I guess if anything that you can take away from the Bible, no matter what parts of it you believe, because I'm all about people believing in what they believe, not what I believe.
I'd love to go back in time to see who actually really did write those amendments or commandments.
Which commandment?
With you know, supposedly Moses wrote the commandments of, you know, I shall love the neighbor and all that.
Yep.
I'd love to actually go back in time to see who actually wrote it.
Right.
Because all we know is it's there, and they're saying, well, it was written by this, you know, this person, but we weren't actually there.
Well,
and there was no photographs at that time.
We have no proof of it anymore either, Jen. So the commandments are gone with the Ark of the Covenant, right?
Yeah.
So therefore, we have no physical evidence of the Ark of the Covenant or the 10 Commandments. So faith.
Well, also another thing is when they translated the Bible, it was also out of a language that they called a lost language as well. So was it a true translation of the Bible? Or was it?
Depends on what the Vatican decided to leave in or take out.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. What did they leave in? What did they take out? What words did they actually change? to tweak it to sound more like this and to tweak it to
I
sound more
believe
like
I
that.
believe the tithe, man. I
Yeah.
believe that, like there's parts of the tithe that's absolutely correct. Like the guy that gives a penny that only has a penny, you know what I mean? Blessed that gave all that he has. Guy that has $1,000 that gives $100. Yeah, you know, he didn't give it his all. So however you want to look at it, you know, like giving is good, okay, and I think that's the point. But in nowhere ever did I read in the Bible that God charges a tenth for his blessing, nor his protection, or you know, your covenant with him. So I think that ultimately the Vatican's responsible for the tenth. I think that they made it so they could collect and use religion as state and state as a way to control the masses. We still see it today.
Yep, I agree with you on that. Me and you got a good agreement there. I'll tell
But
you that now.
at the same time, I definitely hold fast to a very true belief in Jesus himself and the fact that he came with the authority of God, which made him God and the King of us.
Once again,
Well,
Eminem, if you don't like the conversation, leave. This is my last and final warning. Next, I will beat you.
Yeah, we can always flip it up too. We don't have to stay on this topic.
Yeah, well, also, but myself personally, when it comes to Jesus, I never believed that Jesus was nothing more than a man. Honestly,
A lot of my Jewish friends feel the same
now,
way.
don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I think he was a great man that was very close to God, and God gave him the ability to do things that was well above normal man's ability. Okay,
Right.
like be able to heal people by a touch. But guess what? There's stories and many different other beliefs of men that did the same.
Fair
Okay,
enough.
you see
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
I mean, Houdini was a great magician. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I mean, I see your point. I've heard some of my Jewish friends have described it as getting a cupcake with no icing. You know what I mean? And that's how they describe Jesus. And like I said, everybody has to have their own personal preference and opinions behind it.
Well, I mean,
what
come
I
on.
see is
If
any
you
man
act,
that lays his life down for me and you, or any man that would lay his life down for me, period, definitely has my attention, my respect, and my best well intent. So
right. Well, that, but you know, there's men that have done that in modern day
yes,
for
there
us.
is. And
Okay.
that's a great point to consider too.
I mean, so are they Jesus as well? You see?
Well, it all depends on if you were born of an angel and a woman rather than a man and a woman, I guess.
Well, see, I know I damn near gave my life for 3 kids.
Yeah,
because
and as you should.
And I freaking I lost a thumb to prove it right there. The 6.5-foot rattlesnake going right to them kids. And I mean, it was within almost striking range of them kids that were playing and not even noticing it was there.
Damn.
I ran over. Without even trying to grab it right. I was thinking of the kids, not myself and my well-being. I grabbed that snake and wherever I could grab it, and I scooped it up and I went to throw it away from them kids, and it came around and hit me. I spent 4 days in ICU with my kidneys. They were working at 10%. My liver was working at 5%.
Damn.
Yeah. And I was in, and to want to know the pain my arm was in, try to imagine taking a 5-pound sledgehammer and going from your shoulder all the way down to the tip.
Throbbing as your blood pulses.
Yeah. Now you take that 5-pound sledgehammer and crush everything, right? All the way down to the tips of your fingers. Then take 5 gallons of gas and pour it on it and set it on fire.
Fuck.
That's the best way I can tell you the pain my arm was in.
Man, I couldn't imagine, man. Well, I mean, I guess I could imagine a little bit, but not like that, dude. I got bit by a black widow twice in 1 year.
There's a scar right here. There's a scar right here that goes like that. There's a scar right down through here. I know you can't see it on the.
Yeah, they have to clean all that out, huh?
But that's where my skin, my arm actually swelled up so much that the skin split open and stuff. They were thinking about taking my arm.
Damn. Aren't you glad you still have that?
Yeah. I'm thankful every day for that. But guess what saved my arm? It wasn't modern medicine. It was Native American medicine that saved my arm.
No joke.
Yeah, they were their modern medicine. They were thinking about taking my arm off. My uncle came in and did his medicine, which was Native American medicine, on my arm, and they couldn't believe the difference in 2 days' time that my arm actually went from being black and blue and just nasty, rotten, smelling, and everything to actually getting pink back into it. The swelling started going down and everything within 2 days.
Damn.
Yeah. So
That's pretty badass.
that's what I'm talking about. Even today, there's modern people that can work what they consider miracles today. You just need to know what to use to do it. You see what I'm saying? And to me, that was a miracle. That was a miracle to me, But it was also my strong belief in God, I believe, also helped with that because my uncle when he was alive, he said, my medicine only works 50% of the way. The other 50% is you got to be believing in God for it to work. Okay.
Yeah.
He said, it's a 50-50 deal. Right.
It's a 50-50 deal.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to meet halfway.
I got a buddy right now, actually, dude. 22. I think he just turned 23. Got a brain tumor, and man, talk about devastated. They can't operate on it really or whatever. And so like he's trying to evaluate his options, and his dad's on some, let's just deal with natural remedies, and his mom's on some, radiation. Let's get this, nailed down right now. Let's not play around. And my answer is, you should do both, and you should, pretty much, focus your stuff on your internal energy and your maker, and your maker. I remember when I got bit by that black widow the first time. I didn't know I actually got bit until it was too late. I already got sick and got better from it by the time I found out it was a black widow. Right. But what's crazy is the 3 days that I was sick, man, on day 2, I had to talk with my maker, and I told him pretty much just like sitting in a humble, sickly position. I was on some, I don't know why I'm going to feel like I'm going to die, but please let me live to see tomorrow. I mean, that was ultimately the shortness and the realness of my prayer, right?
Right.
Well, slowly I get better, man. Get over the shits, the headaches, like you were talking about, that fucking throbbing pain, dude, that's hitting all your neurological senses. All that shit was going. My heart feeling like it's going to beat out of my chest. And then I started getting better. And then I pull out my socks from this bucket of Clorox bleached water, right? And here comes the black widow. Boom, falls out right on top the dryer there.
Oh,
and,
wow.
And then I realized, I was like, man, I just got poisoned. So yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy what that shit'll do to you, man. I'm like, it's like a snake.
See, I only had to deal with one poison, and that was a hemotoxin. Okay. Jeez. A black widow has a neurotoxin and a hemotoxin.
No joke.
Yeah. They give you a double dose of 2 different toxins.
Yeah.
So,
well, here's the weirdest coinkydink about that story though. So 11 months later, I'm in my buddy's basement, where his grow room is. I'm sleeping on the couch. Spider comes out, drops in my mouth.
Oh,
yeah.
Guess what I spit out? A spider. Guess what's on top of my mouth? A lump. Guess what it was? Another black widow.
Oh,
and so I actually got pumped full of antivenoms. That time my arms started flailing out and like going loose, and my legs, same thing, went real limber and shit. They grabbed by ambulance, took me to the hospital, pumping me full of antivenom and shit.
It bit you in your mouth.
Bit me in my mouth. Yeah. And I got
that right there because of the
my brain right there and all that, dude.
Well, I was going to say your brain, and also that's your jugular right there. That's an instant almost injection of that poison into your body. No wonder it affected you so bad.
Bro, it was bad. But check it out. I got treatment probably like 45 minutes to an hour of feeling symptomatic. Next thing you know, man, like they pumped me full of all this antivenom and shit. And the dude told me, he's like, dude, you shouldn't have lasted 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And the funny part is the reason I lasted that 45 minutes to an hour was because 11 months earlier, I got bit in my leg on that little bone on your ankle. And I went through the sickness and built immunities over 11 months and had antibodies stored up for it.
Yeah. Well, see, they say that if I get bit by a rattlesnake again because of the damage that rattlesnake did with the venom that it pumped into me,
Yeah.
they said that I more than likely will not get but just a stomach ache and not even have the swelling and shit like that.
No joke.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what they say. But I ain't had the balls to figure out if that's true or not.
Yeah, I would definitely. I'd be wearing ankle protection if I were you, boss.
Oh man,
Yeah.
the closest I got to a rattlesnake after that was I actually it's on my channel. I actually have a video where I videoed one where I was going down the bike path while I was still down in Florida, and it
Yeah.
crossed in front of me, and you can hear him go. And he's all coiled up, and I got up, but I was probably a good 6 foot away from him.
And you're like, I don't want to play with you.
Right. I was staying out of his strike range. He was only about a 4 footer.
Yeah.
So, and they only strike half their body length. So 2.5 foot is all he could strike. So I was staying at about 6 foot away. So I was staying out of his striking range. He knew it. He did try to strike. He just coiled up. He said, you get any closer, motherfucker, I will nail you.
Yeah, I'm sure that ain't good on the heart, man. But I wouldn't be surprised if you had immunities built up in your system against it now.
Yeah,
my grandfather.
That's what they say.
Yeah, my grandfather, or I should say my great grandfather, he was doing the same thing with bees. And he'd go in there with no mask on. They'd jump on him. They'd sting him. His skin didn't even start like raising up or doing anything crazy. Like immunity's a son of a bitch, you know?
Well, I had a buddy. He got bit by a copperhead in his wood pile. We was bringing in wood because it was going to get cold that night, and that copperhead was taking refuge in the wood pile. Well, that copperhead nailed him on his hand. He got sick. I mean, so sick. He wished he was freaking dead. He was asking people to put a bullet in his head. Okay. He wanted to die. He was that sick. But after that, almost 2 years later, again in the same wood pile, one nailed him on the hand again, and he said, "Yeah, I felt a little sick in my stomach, but that was it. It didn't bother him hardly at all."
Yeah,
and that was 2 years later.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole thing. So it takes, I think, 9 months for your body to have enough of antibodies or built up immunity to whatever is trying to fight to be able to fight it, which is kind of interesting. So,
well, here's something interesting, Oz. Hey, Sarah Pafar. She says hi to you, also, Liberty Bird.
What's up? Yeah, sorry I ain't paying much attention to the chat, but yeah, definitely post comments if you hear.
Well, I can't post them. That's Jen's ability. I'm not going to channel on. Hey, fuck DSS many times in the face with the cactus. But they say this was something else. I talked to one of the the doctor in Valdosta, Georgia, and he is one of the most foremost heads of knowing about the poisons that the snakes, because he mixes the anti-venoms. He's been doing it for almost I think it's 42 years, working at the hospital as the doctor for administering the anti-venoms and knowing snake venoms and things like that. And he knows snake venoms from all around the world, literally. Nice. Okay, because when a zookeeper gets bit by a cobra right there in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, they fly them
you gotta be able to get that stuff out there right away.
Right, right there to Valdosta, Georgia is where they take them. Hey, Robert.
Booner.
Hey, Robert. What's up, hugs? Sarah hugs. DSS hugs.
And they got every anti-venom known to man there.
Damn.
Okay. And because that's where they take the zookeepers when they get bit and all that. Yeah. And I did a lot of talking with that doctor and found out that the rattlesnake venom, it never completely leaves your body either.
No shit.
Yeah. It never completely dissipates. There's always a small trace, a small amount of it in your body at all after you get bit.
I wonder if that's the same way with the spider bite.
I never asked.
Yeah,
question
well, I
does.
mean, it might differ. It might not. Who knows?
Mhm. I just because I got bit by a rattlesnake. That were the questions I was asking.
Totally. Yeah. I'm with you on that. Yeah, I wasn't asking about no rattlesnake bites when I got bit by the spider. That's for sure.
Now he did tell me. He said, "Now if I got hit by a cottonmouth or something like that, because they got neurotoxin, okay, that's what they're." He says, "Now that will just affect you probably about the same as getting never been bit by a snake before."
No
Because
shit.
because it's a different venom and it affects the different things. It goes after your nerves. It don't go after your
Yes. Yeah, like I said, like
meat.
Jello.
Right.
Starts turning shit. You still have that painful throb, but like your functionality, dude, it turns into Jello.
Yeah, because it's attacking your nerves and it actually attacks your respiratory, your nerves, and it really attacks the nerves in your back.
Yep, cardiovascular, dude, especially. Yeah, my heart felt like it was gonna go up my fucking chest, dude.
Yeah, that's that neurotoxin coming after your ass. Yes, your neurotoxin is an entirely different thing, and it affects you entirely differently.
Good thing the bird's got a big heart and loves people.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Look at Jen's just like chilling. She's like, I got my headphones on. I'm fucking kicking back. I'm comfortable.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
what
And I'm driving into an area so I can get some better work because I live out in the country. So when I drive for Uber, I got to drive population.
There you go.
Is that pretty much the
We
most
only got
of
brown
the driving you do, Robert? Is Uber?
I do Uber full time. Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
awesome.
How's that working out?
Pretty good.
Get a lot of
Badass.
calls.
Pretty good.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I've given, let's see, in the last year and a half, I've given 1,900 and I forget how many trips. It's over 1,900 trips in a year and a half. So I do a lot. Yeah.
Do you have to do your own, like separate from the taxes, or can you
Yeah,
put
I
it
have
in?
to file I get a 1099 end of the year. I file my own taxes. I'm my own I'm my own boss, my own company, and because I'm subcontracted through Uber, I don't actually work for Uber. So I'm my own company.
Okay.
Which is good for you, but it also means that you're responsible for all that, and then you have to deal with your workman's comp and your compensation. No 401k.
I have to deal with all that, the health, the insurance, everything that I have to take care of. I got to take care of it on my end. But there's a lot of benefits that go along with it because I could do it. Also, a lot of write-offs, things for mileage, gas, stuff like that. So
Right.
it works out. But yeah, there's a lot of bookkeeping involved with it. But it's nice being able to work my own schedule. I can work when I want, quit when I want, and I make money doing it. So it's a good gig. If you're in a populated area, where I live, I got to drive about 20 minutes to get into population, but that's no big deal.
Hour for me.
Hey, DSS. You may say I look goofy without no hair, but guess what? All the women liked it. So
yeah. Earlier, Connect said all the women line up on the right side.
DSS is just upset that he can't get no girls.
Do what?
DSS is just upset he can't get no girls.
Oh, he's got his old lady. He's got his old lady. So he'd probably be thankful that he ain't get no more girls.
Old lady all the time sitting next to him.
He's probably thankful he ain't
getting no girls.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's probably thankful he ain't getting no girls. He'd probably take a frying pan to the top of his head.
Jeez, dude. Well, I mean, it's kind of hard to get a girl to go back under the bridge with the rest of the trolls. You know what I mean?
And DSS,
wow.
Blind Justice is out, and so is Extra Good Citizen.
Yep. So is Johnny 5-0.
Yep, Johnny 5-0. He got out last night. So
yeah. I seen the deal on Johnny 5-0. I didn't know Extra Good Citizen got out, and Blind Justice did good.
Now
Yeah,
we just need a free Otto and free Eric Brandt.
Yes, that needs to come next year.
Yep.
Well, if you've seen
I've been working on it, guys.
If you've seen today's stream from Cut the Plastic, they actually they actually showed all the court cases that they have for Eric.
No joke.
And it's back to back.
Yep.
And also, Cut the Plastic said there was a warrant from Adams County for Eric.
Another warrant's already out.
Yep.
How are you gonna have a warrant for your arrest while you're in jail?
Because they didn't take him up to, I guess, to court up there.
Well,
Well, how can he go to court when he's sitting in jail? And the jail's not being responsible making sure he gets that court.
He was needed in as a witness in another court case. Actually, this
tomorrow.
Yeah. That ain't gonna happen probably either.
Nope.
So much for due
They're gonna
process.
fight that.
Yep. Now, hey, I want y'all to listen to this too. Bill HB 9-225. Reed Leslie, he was a rep. Leslie Herod, Rep Matt Soper, and in the Senate, Pete Lee and Paul Lunding. Them are all that supported that bill, and that's to try to keep excessive bail from being placed upon an individual for any one offense. Okay. Well, they have arrested Eric 3 times for the same offense. Okay. And raised the bail every time. Up to 35,000. He's up to $35,000 in bail.
40.
Okay. 40 now. Okay. And for just speaking words, that's excessive. That's excessiveness. Them are the guys that sponsored that bill. Get in touch with those people that sponsored that bill and let them know these people are going against their bill. Get them upset that their bill is not being heeded. Okay. The reason I say that, we can maybe stir up a hornet's nest with them enough that they might actually do something for Eric. You know what I'm saying?
What's that? Is that what I think it is?
Blaze one for the nation.
Hell yeah.
So you see what I'm saying? We can maybe get the government working a little bit on our side to help Eric. You know, instead of just letting the government that is out there that is working against Eric, let them work undeterred. If we can get those people upset enough that their bill ain't being done, they might it might be not being adhered to. Maybe we might get some people in the government on our side.
You know what? Before you go any further with that thought, I want you to replace the word government with slave keeper.
Okay, well,
and the word citizen with slave.
Yeah.
Sarah, check out Cut the Plastic. It'll explain it all in there.
So let the slave convince the slave keeper to take their side.
Right. Well, there you go. That'll work. Maybe
that's a rough thought though when you think about it on that level.
Well, you're actually true. You're actually true with that statement though. But maybe we might be able to get a slave keeper or two to start helping us instead of going against us. You know what I mean? And then we can work some miracles later. You know,
buy the corner of beer.
Yeah, buy the corner of beer, and I hope the people in Colorado are listening to this because they can get them fucking cops dealt with through the corner. Make friends, make the corner be their best friend because they're the only ones that can even arrest the sheriff of the town. Okay. Even in Texas, the Texas Rangers cannot touch the sheriff. They can only detain the sheriff until the coroner gets there to arrest him.
Hey, Blue Eyes, hugs.
So,
we're just talking.
The coroner has a lot of power.
Doing updates and all that.
Yep, and they're a forgotten part of the checks and balance of the government, or the slave masters. So let's put it that way. They're a forgotten part of it. So make friends with them, and you could maybe move mountains.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
But there's a lot of them
Something's
that are
gotta
just
give.
corrupt too. I mean, heck, look at the one out in Las Vegas when that shooting was out there. All the trouble they were having trying to get those records and stuff from the coroner when all those like the trajectories of the bullets and stuff in the bodies of the coroner out in Vegas when that shooting was. I mean, some of them are just as corrupt too.
Yep, that's true. Hey, Blue Eyes, hi, pretty girl.
Blue Eyes, you can jump up on panel again? More than welcome to.
But yeah, you're right. But you know, on that, actually, the coroner, if you actually look at him behind the scenes, the coroner was not the one that they were. His stuff was out, but it was being intercepted by different people of the government.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Okay. He was trying to put that stuff out. The coroner was. It was getting intercepted by mayors and Senate people and things like that because they were saying it needed to be used in judicial matters. Okay, and so they were keeping it hidden because of that statement saying they couldn't let it be out because it was judicial matter. And but he tried to put it out for people.
Yeah, see, that's back when I first started getting involved with all of this was right when that happened because I was looking into it. I was really interested in what was going on. It piqued my curiosity, and then I found the cop watching community. I started out watching Bao, and I just never looked back. And it just went one from the other to the other. And
well, it's like I said, right now it is not safe for anybody to go out by themselves.
I tell you.
Oh no, the cop watch and do that? No, hell no.
I can tell you that.
I don't know. I'm interested by myself still. I'm just a lot more cautious than I do.
Yes, it's been a long day, Blue Eyes. Very long day.
I've noticed even some of the people that have gone out with other people, they're taking one down and still taking one in. They may not take them all down, but they're taking at least one down and taking them in. It seems like. It's really, they have gotten way out of control.
I've been fortunate. I haven't been arrested since I was in my early 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I went a long time without being arrested until they decided to put fake charges against me.
Yeah. Well, you got to document everything, dude. They just recently tried to get me on a class something felony for criminal trespass for showing up to a business meeting that the homeowner demanded I showed up to, gave me permission like 5 times via text. So I showed up to it. They weren't there. I talked to some other guys that were there. And then as soon as I sent them a bill for 17 grand, it became criminal trespass suddenly. And they tried to get the sheriff to fucking do it. And he tried to do it. But I had all the evidence, because I documented everything to a fucking T. The DA took a look at the fucking charges and took a look at the evidence I presented and was like, I ain't touching this shit.
Right.
The only worst thing I ever got was one speeding ticket, which wasn't even a speeding ticket. I was able to fight it because they had an entrapment. They had 35 and then 35 miles an hour. And it wasn't even, I mean, the speed limits were like this far away from each other. And then all of a sudden it went to 25. I was like, well, how can you make it 35 and then that stopped to a 25? I said, that doesn't give you enough time to slow down. Right. And so they got busted. That was, matter of fact, I was in Palmyra. They got busted for it and they had to fix the speed limit, the signs.
Interesting. I pose this question. Does the speed limit change begin when you can see the sign or when you pass the sign?
It's supposed to be in most states when you're going past the sign.
When you're going past the sign.
Yeah. So that also means that as soon as that sign says that the speed limit changes from that to that, then you're good to hit it as hard as you can.
Right.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Always wondered that.
Yeah, in most states, there are some states that it's very cloudy.
Of course.
Definition.
Yeah. And then I got
Nebraska, Missouri, and Oklahoma. Them
And the
are
only-
some that got that very cloudy.
yeah, and the only other ones I got, and the only other ones I got was my ex-husband forgot to put the registration sticker on my license plate. He had it hid, so I got fined for that. And then another one was for a light bulb, which all the officer did was tell me to come in, show that I got a new light bulb, and I was fine.
Oh,
But-
geez.
But
Make you
the
come
funny
in
thing
to
with
show them.
registration is I had to go in and pay they went into the officer's favor, in which the officer lied and told me I wasn't going to get fined out of it, which he ended up giving me a fine. And it's like I said, it went in the officer's favor. The judge was being crooked. But I had to pay this fine, so I was making payments. The last day when I had to make the payment, they already had warrants ready to go out for me that morning.
Wow.
Because they couldn't find my file. And I'm like, well, what the heck? I said, it's only, today's my last day. I still have time to pay it. Well, that morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, they had a warrant already out for my arrest. And I was like, you better change that darn thing. I said, because there's no reason. I said, the warrant's only supposed to go out the next day, not that day.
Yeah, that's
And
crazy.
it
Hey guys, I'm where I need to be, so I'm gonna hop off of here. But I thank you for letting me on, and I'll get on later. But right now I'm where I need to be. So y'all
All right,
take safe,
Robert,
be safe. all right?
anytime,
All right,
Robert.
take her easy, Robert.
Love that dude.
But yeah,
No,
this is how corrupted Pennsylvania is. I mean, it's like I say, even down at if you go down to the Capitol building, you can't even sit there and film the goddamn freaking water fountain, stand there and film it without being freaking harassed.
What is it? Is it like Wilkes-Barre or something up there? You know a place called Wilkes-Barre?
I've heard of it, but I've never been there.
Yeah, so I was working out there one time, man. I tried to film some cops, and they did not like that.
Oh
shit.
no, Pennsylvania don't like to be filmed.
no, they don't. Even though the one time me and you did film that, but it was cold that day and the wind was blowing. I think that's
Yeah.
the only reason they didn't want to fuck with us. And we were staying far enough back. We weren't really bothering them, I don't think.
No, we weren't.
And, what had happened was
clean up.
it looks like there was a wreck or something, and we went down there and we started filming. And that cop, he turned around a couple of times right in front of us and then parked, and like to say, okay, you stay where you're at. You're cool. It's too damn cold out here for me to fuck with you right now. You stay there. You're cool. We're fine.
Yeah, don't
If you
fuck
go
with
back,
me.
if
I
you
ain't
go
gonna
back
fuck
about a
with
year
you.
and a half, you can see the stuff I did here, catching the end of a speed trap. I say speed trap, and the entrapment of them doing the DUIs. And I caught the end of it, and then I caught like 2 things that happened in the park here.
Hey, Robert Bonner, it's okay, bud. I
good,
do that
Robert.
shit. I do that shit all the time. I'll be even right in the middle of saying bye, and I'll click myself out because I hit the button too damn quick.
Yeah, I just feel bad that we don't let him say more when he's in here. I gotta quit talking over that guy. He's got great knowledge.
Oh, Robert's cool. Robert's cool.
Yeah,
Robert's cool.
And
I have no problem with anybody coming up on panel or being in the room. It's like I said, if you're respectful and common sense, and I have no problem. That's what we grew up on.
and all Robert has to do is say, "Hey, look, you've been talking a while. Let me talk."
Yeah. If he interjects, I'm definitely shutting the fuck up.
Right.
I love that guy. Yeah, Jason got it. It cracks me up too, man.
Oh yeah, Jason's awesome.
Yeah,
Jason got that.
Yeah.
Slash Canada. I love Slash Canada too.
On here, I had Eric up on here. I had I had a couple of different people up on the panel so far.
Yeah. Slash Canada's cool as hell too. I like
Slash
Slash
is
Canada too.
And that's
He's
if
awesome,
he's
dude.
lurking. He ain't coming up on panel, right?
Yeah, if you're lurking, asshole, why don't you come on the panel?
Yeah, I would love some time with one of these like undercover cops and trolls that keep watching my shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, hell.
I guarantee Denver and Texas is watching my streams because they
Always.
know I am. Normally I'm the one making phone calls and stuff. Texas already shut my phone down for a whole day because I was helping back when Bao was in jail down
Yeah.
in Brex County. I was calling and I was making, trying to get him help because they weren't letting him fill out paperwork and shit.
And I can tell you now, Denver's tried to put shit on her phone.
Yep.
Also, that's been caught. What it is it's a tracer that can double as a listening in on your conversations.
Oh yeah, no, I guarantee it. I'm sure I got stuff on my phone too. I don't even care though. Like I'm just on some like, hey buddy, you want a closer look? I'll send you some pics.
Yep.
Well, tonight I was sitting there talking to her, and I just got done calling them fucking pigs over there that had fucked with
Blind Justice.
Blind Justice, and her phone turned on by itself.
Yeah.
And you can hear one of the fucking call center guys listening.
Yeah.
And because he was talking. And I know it was one of the call center guys because he was the one I fucking cussed out.
Yeah, because my phone was like staying in between my thing, like my couch here. It has like a table like. So he had the phone thing on the table, and all of a sudden I'm hearing my phone go click click, and I'm like, I looked at Tammy, and I'm like, somebody's on my phone.
Yep. And no one, and I know it was hung up. I know for a fact I had hung up and everything else.
Dude,
and then all of a sudden it turns itself on, and then you can hear the guy I cussed out.
Yeah, there's a problem with that. Did you guys catch the Too Tall Rob stream the other night?
No, I missed it.
So me and him were talking. We had a few of us in there, but we were talking about. I came home from that VA trip and then doing all that stuff in New York and everywhere else we went, Boston, like all these places, right? So when I got back though, as soon as I walked in the door, it was dead silent, dude. There was nothing going on, and then all of a sudden, the Google Home kicks on and starts playing this Blue Clues song called "Silly Hat," which has some very interesting, key phrases in there that kind of made me think about some things, and then it turned itself off also, which really freaked me the fuck out.
I bet.
Dude, it was one of them dudes that's been watching. I guarantee he's like, bam, guess what? We're still here. We're still watching you. And then they're trying to intimidate me through my Google Home. I mean, serious.
Yeah, well, Denver still calls here underneath a certain number, and it's a tracer number, and I end up having to block it every time.
Yep. And I know for a fact, like when I was in Dixie County, after that went down, I had 2 cops that even straight up told me, every time you come on, we watch you.
Well, it's like you said, you saw that comment that one time way back when I first met you.
Yeah,
and I couldn't see it.
A ghost comment came into my chat. No one else could see anything. Okay.
Damn.
And I'm sitting here reading it, and there was like 3 of them, three lines, 3 different.
And I'm
lines.
like, who are you talking to?
Yeah. And no one else saw the fucking comments. No one.
Yeah, because they're all up in your shit, and they're fucking with you. Yeah, I'm on some watch out for that, because it's kind of an interesting game. I had if you look at my government spies video, I actually have this flickery ass footage, and I did that because people were investigating me and watching my YouTube videos. So I decided to give them a run for their money and make them think about the psychological fucking thoughts behind why I just fucked with the footage. But basic story is I asked the Capitol State Patrol commander, right? The guy that's making all the decisions and knows about all the fucking things going on, okay? If I was being spied on as an American citizen, and if my liberties were being protected, and that they were pretty much letting it go. And he told me that he would not answer that because it would offend me one way or another, and that it was a loaded question. And ultimately what I got down to is, no, you're part of a fucking database. We're fucking spying on you. Fuck yeah, we're always watching.
Yeah, well, you think the smart TVs are now in the cell phones.
Yep.
And the computers.
Yep.
That's why I always
when I go to bed, when I go to bed, I close this screen down, and I also I flip all 4 of my phones
Yep.
over.
I won't, dude. I'll whip it out for him.
Yep.
Here,
And
this motherfucker.
Yeah, here, watch me. Watch me go. Oh, jeez.
that's why I
What?
always keep the light off in the living room because they can't see shit
Yeah.
through the screen, through the smart TV.
Yeah, I'm probably getting rid of my Google Homes, I think. I think I'm done with those.
Yeah.
They're,
Yeah, the
they're
Google Home,
convenient.
they're spies, and the Aries.
The Alexa,
Yeah, Alexa,
bullshit. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
yelled at my son. I
Hey,
yelled at my son because he has it. He
I
has it.
dare y'all to get Alexa and ask it if it works for the CIA.
Oh, it'll shut off. Yeah, the Google Home does the same thing. And what's even crazier is, I ask it questions, and then it starts telling me answers to things that don't make sense. Like one time I was asking about where the gate of hell was or whatever, and the end of the world and all this stuff, and it started getting out like weird ass predictions about things like happening.
Yeah.
So they started talking about like Hades Day and shit. So like there were some weird videos we all seen online too of that stuff when they like talk to each other.
I yelled at my son. He has the Alexa, and I told him, I said, get rid of that goddamn thing. He's like, why, Mom? It's cool. It turns on my TV. It does that. I said, you want the government fucking listening to your conversations?
I don't even care anymore. I don't even care. Like the thing is that once the government acts on me, dude, it's going to be a bad day for everybody because I'm going to stand on the law that they set before me.
Yep.
And the sad part about that is that I don't want to be a law abider, but at the same time, if I have the ability to stand on their law, and then fight them with their law, and then at the same time, hold my grounds, I'm winning, and if they break the law and they beat me and take me in, because it'll take force, I promise you that. And if they take me by force, they'll face the consequences of the lawsuit, and I'll continue to be
God,
free.
Patrick's in Leon Valley. Oh God.
No, there's going to be another one arrested.
Yep.
What?
Because you know he ain't going to be smart enough to stay away from there.
Leon Valley. He's dumb shit.
You know he ain't going to be smart enough to stay away from there.
Nope.
I bet you he'll be good. You never know.
No, he's gonna test the boundaries.
Well, don't we all though? I mean, look at my boy 303, dude. He's probably the best at like taking it to the nth degree.
But right now it is not, and right now even Texas Sheepdog said, "Don't fuck with Leon Valley right now because they're trying to go through a different way, getting them." Because of the fact of them doing what they're doing, like what they did to Good Citizen today.
Yeah.
And you know what?
That's a great response to what happened to Good Citizen. Right?
If you watch Justin Pullman, he also was did an interesting story where the city what is that, the city manager is going to be stepping down, and they're thinking about putting fucking Vagisil in there.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. As the city manager.
That sounds like
that happens.
As the intern city manager right now.
That sounds horrible.
Oh yeah. Then you want to see shit really go down the tubes? More than it already is?
Yeah, if you ask me, I think that there's already enough authority over the top of us to where we don't need no more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I call him Vagisil because he don't like being called Vagisil.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, I think I'm going to call it a night. I think it's been badass talking to you guys.
I appreciate you coming on, Liberty Bird.
Man, I'll keep popping back in, Genty. You're like one of the most badass people ever. So yeah.
Thank you.
You can count me in to come hang out, and hopefully I don't get out of line.
Nah.
Awesome. Well, love you guys lots, man, and great conversations. Keep up the good work.
Yep, love and hugs.
Is he leaving?
Yeah.
Tell him I said bye.
He said, Liberty, if you're here, Tammy Linland says bye. Here, Tammy. Do me a favor, flush this guy down the toilet.
What is it?
Stink bug. Oh, I hate stink bugs.
Have a nice trip.
They're a pain in the ass. I can put it over there in the box.
I told him to have a nice trip. Surfing those pipelines. Yep.
You can definitely tell spring is going to come early. The stink bugs are coming out like crazy.
Yeah. Guys, I'm getting really tired. I'm gonna have to get off here as well.
Yeah, it's about, yeah, I've been on here for about 2 hours and 40 minutes, so.
Almost 3 hours, yeah.
Yeah.
I did an 8-hour turnaround, and I only got like 3 hours sleep, so I'm tired. Just catching up with me.
Since nobody else is really coming up on panel, so.
Yeah. Y'all try to have a good night, guys. Don't have too much fun. You know.
Yeah, everybody be safe. And
enjoy.
we will see you again.
Yep.
Love and hugs, everybody.
Oh, I didn't see Mammy come in. Hi, Mammy. Hug.
Mammy, yeah, she was in earlier.
Yeah, I didn't notice it. Damn it. Sarah, you have a good night.
Feel better, Sarah.
Yeah, I hope you get to feeling better, hon. Robert, you try to have a good night. Blue Eyes, you try to have a good night if you're still here. Good night, all.
Yep,
love y'all. Have fun. And I'm at it.